First and goal. Kuhn gets the ball. Pyle trying to make his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the here comes the here comes the y'all don't really want it now. E-double-L. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolfpack, what's going on? It is your Week 15 Saturday, a little bonus show here, coming live for your fantasy semifinals, because not only is it the best time of the year, the fantasy playoffs, but we also get Saturday football, which makes it that much better of a day. Championship Sunday for college football, leading up into some Bills, Denver, some Carolina versus the Packers. Interesting matchups for today. We got a millionaire dollar slate on for 2 games. Are you tossing any in today, CJ? How are you doing, CJ? Big day.
I just actually just put one in. Kind of going a little contrarian, following our guy John Jackson with that.
He's got the little chart, right?
Yeah, the little Panthers stack. So I'm tailing that a little bit.
I'm thinking about getting that Panther stack in there. I definitely am going Josh Allen for at least one of my stacks. I know everybody's going to be all over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But folks, you might not be here for DFS. We'll talk DFS. Ask us any DFS questions you want. But we are here live for your sit start, because we know those 2 games, you might have some questions involving those players. There's some news around those players in their games. So we just figured we'll go live, see if anybody's here, wants to crack a beer. If not, no worries. We will obviously be live tomorrow. This isn't one of those emergency ones where, like, I'm going to the Patriots and suddenly we have to, get our thing in.
No, actually, this is always the week you go to the Patriots.
Exactly. It's always like the semifinals or finals. I go to a Patriots game, but not this year, sadly. So yeah, get your questions in. We're happy to answer them. We will, of course, be live again tomorrow, but we wanted to make sure if you have anything weighing on you for these 2 games we have coming up, if you want to chat, a DFS, whatever you'd like to do, that's good with us. We did have some good, important news to cover for today's game, and then also from yesterday, some big notes. So let's just rip into that, and then we'll get to all your questions. Get them on in, Wolfpack. Again, we will be live tomorrow as usual, but if you'd like, and of course, a thumbs up button on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, shares, retweets, all that good stuff obviously always helps. But for Saturday, today, what you need to know: Christian McCaffrey and John Brown are out. I know Brown was kind of a popular waiver wire ad recommendation. He's not going to be going today. Maybe you'll get him week 16. That really does keep Gabriel Davis actually viable. He scored in 3 straight weeks. He just catches a touchdown every time. He's only 4K on DraftKings for that slate today. Interesting little way to save some money there. But Christian McCaffrey out. Mike Davis is going to be in all DraftKings lineups, and he should be in your seasonal lineup unless you are completely stacked. I've gotten a few pretty tough ones, like J.K. Dobbins versus Mike Davis. And that is a tough one. And I know you're a huge Dobbins guy, CJ. So I wanted to ask you, what would your opinion be on Dobbins versus Davis?
Dobbins has the perfect matchup this week. It's just you just can't trust that backfield at all. They all still produce, they all score, they all do whatever, but it's so unpredictable. I'm always just a volume guy, so I would go Mike Davis in that situation.
Yeah,
that Ravens backfield is so annoying.
It's so annoying.
Even though they did, Ingram's done. Ingram's completely irrelevant.
I was going to just note that because, one snap for Ingram. I don't know if it was injury related, what it was, but either way, 1 snap. So that means it's more of a 2-headed thing. And then I also saw, and I was kind of surprised by this, CJ, because it has been such a nightmare of a backfield, but Dobbins, I think, played 67% of the snaps. And we only had Edwards in for under 30% last week, too. He did score 2 touchdowns, so it's he only needs 30% of the snaps to be a nuisance to also have his own value for Gus Edwards streaming. But I don't know. If we get another 70% snap day from Dobbins, against the Jags, could this be the week? Absolutely. And that's the one thing I'm worried about. I'm siding with you, though. I know all that was I'm just playing devil's advocate for the sake of it. I have Mike Davis higher. He's facing Green Bay. They've given up 100 yards and or a TD in every single game to running backs. They're the 3rd or 4th highest in points allowed. So I'm going Mike Davis if I have him in 90% of chances. But that's kind of the range, Dobbins, that. Let us know what you guys think. And again, this could be the week Dobbins just goes crazy as well. The Jags are atrocious. You don't need me to spell that out. So I don't know. I'm excited about Dobbins. I wanted an excuse to bring him up just because I've been weighing on him a lot. And DFS-wise, I think he's only 5,900. There's like a clear 3 big running backs for tomorrow. Kamara. Well, let's cover that. The last Saturday note is Curtis Samuel's questionable. Did you see anything new on him yet? That was the last I saw.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we will for a little bit. They're the late game, right? Or
they are the night game, yeah. So I doubt we'll see anything till actives and actives. Like yesterday was the walkthrough, so they didn't release any notes on that. So we don't know about Curtis Samuel. I think if he's in, he's probably in your lineup. Again, granted, it depends on how many teams, how stacked you are, but he's in my top 30 receivers. He's been, over 15 points in 70-80% of the last 9 weeks. He's really gotten some nice consistency going with him. So I like Samuel. If he's in, they're going to need to scheme up touches. And I don't think Jair is going to follow him around. That might be more of a Robbie Anderson type of assignment. So that's just your notes for this game. Let us know if you have any questions. McCaffrey, again, just what a cock tease all year. It sucks. It hurts. Ruined me in 2 or 3 leagues. The other league I had Saquon. It was just one of those 2020s, which is why I have a delicious, I don't know if channel markers tuned in here, sour for 11 a.m. The triple berry. Going back to, I had one of these on Thanksgiving Day, and it brought me some good luck. So
I'm gonna have to pop a claw right now.
Yeah, exactly. Get a little screenshot for channel marker here. Delicious, delicious sour beer. Never thought I'd be into sours, but they have made some fantastic ones. So Old Planners, channel marker, 2 unreal breweries out here in Beverly. That recaps, though, your Saturday notes. Let's cover now some other big news that happened. I know you covered this one yesterday. Saints coach Sean Payton confirms Brees is going to start. Huge implications, obviously, for fantasy owners. We got 26 questions, all right? Okay, so we got a Wolfpack here today. A little smattering of 26 questions. I like it. Get them on in, Wolfpack. I'm pumped to have. I had no idea if anybody would really be tuned in. I pumped this at the last 30 minutes beforehand. So awesome. Glad some people are here with us. That's what we like to see. But Sean Payton does confirm Brees is going to be starting Week 15, which has huge overarching implications for the entire Saints offense, mostly Alvin Kamara. We covered this yesterday. What was it, CJ? Like 14 points per game with Taysom Hill and like 28. It's like literally doubled, right? Like just about.
Yeah, I was just pulling it up right now. Let me see. But yeah, it was about 14. And then I know the first 2 games were miserable. It was like 10.5 and 5 points or something.
Oh,
and then it did jump to 16, 18 the last 2. But yeah, so it was 27.4 to 14.2.
Oh, it almost doubled, legitimately almost doubled. And what's even better is Kamara without Mike Thomas. Like if you add in the games where he's had no Thomas and Brees, I think I put that on RotoViz earlier. It's like over 30 points per game. It's fucking crazy. Like he goes demigod. That was when he was like wide receiver 4 on just his receiving. And then you also had all the rushing he was adding on top of that. So Kamara at 7,400 in DraftKings, obviously almost lineup lock for me at this point. It's tricky because Taylor's also 72. And then it's like, well, do you not get Henry in? So it's like, that's actually kind of how I'm starting all my lineups. It's like, okay, how do I fit it around these 3 running backs for tomorrow? I also do love Miles Sanders. So it's tough. And there's a lot of good plays this week. Which
Nick also pointed out, I think the Chiefs have let up close to like 700 receiving yards to running backs this year.
Go crazy. Not that any of you are like questioning whether he should be in your lineups. I don't think. I mean, I guess Taysom Hill has made that question real, but now that Brees is back, especially now that Mike Thomas is out, that's going to be big for this lineup. Jared Cook gets a bump, and I guess we, already ruined this lead or whatever the expression is. But Mike Thomas is going to be out. Big implications for the whole offense as well, because he's such a target vacuum in that offense. We've seen Sanders go off for like 15 target. You had him in your captain. I remember that night. That was like when you were getting real close to like big money that night. Sanders on Monday Night Football, like he had like 15 targets, like 13 catches. It was insane.
Yeah, that was insane good. That was. Exactly. I mean, he really hasn't done anything since, but there are worse options, I feel like.
Exactly. Well, he hasn't done anything since because Thomas is back. He's had also Taysom Hill to deal with. Yeah. And now both of those things are removed. I could see him having a big day, a game that has a 52 over under. Like I like the stacks here that you can create with Brees 5,900. Sanders is 4,200 on DraftKings. Jared Cook is 20. I think when I say 3,400. And then, of course, Kamara, like lineup block, as we already covered. But you got some nice, cheap, like options in a game that's about to go crazy, potentially, at least according to Vegas, Could the Chiefs just completely smash them? Could Brees come back and just be a nightmare? It's a risk. It could happen. Absolutely. He had 11 broken ribs and a collapsed lung. Like,
Yeah,
psycho.
he's
Psycho
definitely
stuff.
he's like one hit away from just turning into dust.
It's terrifying. Yeah, literally right on the field.
I'm just going back and forth with Big Ben and Brees. Like, I really don't trust Brees, but I do love like the shootout appeal of this game. I'm like so conflicted on that for my own league.
You said Big Ben versus Brees.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Ben's certainly the highest floor, right? Like Ben, absolutely the higher floor. But Brees, I think the ceiling's really high. And that's why Millie Maker and stuff like that, that's where I'm going to. I'm going to Drew Brees, despite the almost negative floor. Like it could be one hit and he's done.
Yeah.
And that would be awful. Are they going to work in Taysom Hill a little more than usual? Maybe. We don't know. We're just speculating. Some questions you need to ask. Ben is certainly safer. But I think you told me, right, your matchup's one of those ones where you're facing like a wagon and you need points. So it's like shoot from the fucking moon, right? That's Brees. That's Brees throwing 4 touchdowns against the Chiefs because you might have to. That game could go bananas. But those are the implications. I've also seen Sanders is 45% owned. So that means in over half the leagues he's out there. Do you need a plug-in receiver for your fantasy finals? Hopefully not. But him, Traquan Smith, like there's definitely some widely available guys that are going to see a nice uptick. Traquan Smith, I actually didn't even check what his DraftKings price was. I'm sure it's 3,500, 4,000 range. Like there's definitely some nice, cheap, stackable options. And those guys become some really intriguing. Like if you have a wide receiver 3 question, let us know. Another stud that's going to be out, Julio Jones, week 15 against the Bucks, potential shootout game right there. Gets a little less appetizing. Ridley, huge target bump. We saw 25 points last week. Like he's going to be a beast. Matt Ryan, he got a downgrade despite the shootout potential in this game. It just sucks. Sucks for everybody involved in this offense. Sucks for anybody that owns Julio, other than maybe Russell Gage, an intriguing waiver wire pickup. 4,600 on DraftKings, saw 70% of the snaps. He's gone over double digits back-to-back games, and he seems to be finding his groove again after starting strong and like disappearing for a bit of the season. He seems to now be that guy. That's the clear number 2 to Ridley. So definitely in streaming consideration. I would probably this is one. So Tans has a really tough question. We've been working through. CJ, let me know your thoughts on this one. He has Gage. He owns Julio, so he has Gage. It's like the handcuff. But then today I dropped Sanders a couple weeks ago. Nobody had picked him up, so he picked up Sanders for the Saints, as we just covered. He also has Rashard Higgins, who has gone like 38 points in his last 2 games. He's been going crazy, and the Giants have no corners this week. It's like all of those 3 guys, and then Jeff Wilson for the flex, or Brandon Cooks could be taken over for. So it's one of those ones where it's like all the buzzy guys. He has them all. But which one do you go? Which one do we pick? Like I don't know. Do you have?
I kind of like Higgins out of that group. I mean, I'm also kind of in the similar situation. Have Julio in that 2-point PPR league, so I'm going Gage right now. But then I just looked up for Sanders. And then I also have Tyler Boyd, and then he's kind of just whatever at this point.
I couldn't do him against the Steelers. That'd be risky. Follow that off.
I think in Tan's situation, I'd go with Higgins. He's so hot right now.
And no corners, right? That's kind of what I said. I was like, I don't know. Higgins is hot. You get Sunday night football too. So if you're a little down,
Sunday night hope, yeah.
The Sunday night hope, it should not be discounted. I mean, I literally have those guys 35, 36, and 38, like in this cluster, or it might even be a little bit higher than that. I know they're all within a spot of each other. So it's a tough question. But Gage, certainly an intriguing streamer at this point. Let us know if you have a Gage question, a Higgins question. Some of those names we brought up are just some names that were widely, available in a lot of leagues and could be out there for you. Another guy that could be out there is Tony Pollard, which might be interesting because Zeke Elliott seems legitimately questionable. I mean, he's a tank. He typically will play through anything.
Yeah.
But he hasn't practiced all week. This is the first time that's been the case. And it's also a lost season for the Cowboys. They just invested how much money in this guy? Like, there's definitely a chance they just say, let's sit our prized investment, just like we're probably going to see with Carolina the rest of the season and Christian McCaffrey. I think there's a pretty good chance Tony Pollard's starting this one. The question is, does it matter? Because we're all down on Zeke for the same reasons we'd be down on Tony Pollard in this situation.
I don't know, though. I mean, Tony Pollard looks really good.
He does. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think I would flip it. Like,
honestly, I think I would feel better about starting Pollard if he has a backfield to himself.
100%. Like if Tony Pollard is starting and Zeke is out, I would rather have a starting Tony Pollard than a Zeke, and it's not even close. So should Tony Pollard be the guy? I think he's 4K on DraftKings, a nice cheap plug and play. If you're going to go cheap at running back again, I'm going for the big boys. I can't get out of Taylor, Henry, and Kamara. Like that's my DraftKings start. How do I figure out from around here? But Tony Pollard would be a very intriguing cheap one if you want to punt the position, fill in a Kelsey or something of that nature. And it matters, of course, if Zeke sits. The fact that he hasn't practiced definitely leads me to believe he could be sitting this one. Again, I think just if they're being cautious, which would be smart, he'll be on the bench. Raheem Mostert, this is probably the most asked thing I'm getting. I know you talked about Wilson earlier this week. Seemed like he was going to be a smash stream. Low lead back duties. Raheem Mostert's getting an MRI. He's not practicing. Like we got a Dallas Cowboys matchup on the docket and one man in the Shanahan backfield at this point. McKinnon hasn't touched the field in 2 weeks. Tevin Coleman's touched the field twice. Like it has been the Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson show. And then it looked like half that show was about to be removed. Now it's back. Mostert's off the injury report. He practiced in full after not doing anything all week. And so it's like, who is it? Is it going to be Mostert? Is it going to be Jeff Wilson? Is it neither? Is it both? I don't know. What's your thoughts on this one, CJ?
Honestly, I think every single piece of news is like directed towards me. Of course, I was like, oh, I have my flex, I can fix the situation. Don't need Tyler Boyd. Insert Jeff Wilson, and then I see this, and I'm just like, what? Like, every single piece of news just hates me. It's just following me around like a cloud. But it's scary. I mean, Jeff Wilson will get goal line. He will get short yardage, but Mostert always scares me. Like the guy can always rip off a 60-yard run. He does a lot on his like 10 carries, but yeah. He does scare me away from Wilson, though. I don't know if I want to flex him myself. I don't know if I want either of these guys, as productive as his backfield could be. And against the Cowboys, 5th most points allowed to bats, like a great spot. Somebody's probably going to have a good day. They both might have really good days. It is so scary to know which one to trust, if it's both, if it's either. Wolfpack, if you have strong thoughts about these guys, or especially if you have questions, let us know. My initial reaction is like, just to put them in perspective, I have both guys above Zeke for the week. Like if you have Zeke, I would rather have Mostert. I'd rather have Jeff Wilson, even in this timeshare, because Zeke scares the shit out of me. But that being said, I'm also really low on Zeke. So they're right around like 24, 25 in my running back rankings, right on the fringe of an RB2. I think I'd prefer, how about this one? Gus Edwards versus the San Fran guys. Would you go Gus as the clear RB2, but in a great spot? Or one of these two 49ers? Like, what do you think of that one? I feel like I would go Gus over Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Mostert obviously has the most talent, the most like he could just like break the slate like he always does. And he could, I don't know. I think with that I'd rank him Mostert, Gus, Wilson.
It's and they're all so close. It's a tricky call, Wolfpack. You can, again, I love when people weigh in and let us know, like, what would you do with that dilemma? And then we could stir in Leonard Fournette, right? Ronald Jones probably out, getting a ton of Leonard Fournette questions. Like, is he below all those guys for you? Is he above all those guys for you? Like, I don't know. It's a hard week, CJ. It's a very hard week with these type of questions. Do you have any strong leanings about Fournette? Do you think he just sucks and you don't want to go there?
He does suck, but I feel all right. I know it's a decent matchup, and it's
gonna have plenty of red zone, right? Like they
exactly. I think I would feel comfortable. I'd rather him than these three.
Yeah, and so that's I keep asking Tanzella's questions because I think they're really like a lot of questions I'm getting from all over the place. He has the same situation, like Fournette, Jeff Wilson, Gus Edwards. He has to decide on one for his RB2. He plucked Cam Akers from me after I dropped him and used him against me for 19 points to knock my ass out. I get what I deserved. I got what I deserved for dropping him and not staying patient. So that's always good. But yeah, tough questions, Wolfpack. Let us know your thoughts. Again, I rank them somewhat similar to CJ. I think I have Gus Edwards sandwich, but I might flip the San Fran backs. Mostert's the highest ceiling. I think Wilson's a good bet to score a touchdown and catch a couple balls. So he's, to me, the safest of those three. But Gus is probably a better, if you're doing a coin flip, it's a better chance than not that he's going to score a touchdown as well. I think it's better than a coin flip type of situations. A 49er who won't be in is George Kittle. Just a couple last notes here, Wolfpack. I'm going to go through some tight end notes now covering that Kittle's going to be out, not playing. I think that locks in Ayuk for just a monstrous day. I know you wrote an article, right, about him being a league winner this week.
He's in like the best spot right now. It's incredible.
insane. He just put up, they were facing the Washington football team who gave up the second fewest points to receivers. And when he became the main piece, the only passing game option they had, he saw 16 targets, 10 catches, 120 yards. Crazy. 39% target share, I think, is what it ended up being. And now he gets that situation, that setup, the only guy in the passing game, but now against Dallas, who gives up the fourth most points to receivers instead of the second fewest. If he doesn't go nuclear, I don't know who goes nuclear.
And then there was, I think the 3 games that Debo's missed are the last 3 games. He's had double-digit targets, too.
Oh, yeah. No Debo and no, yeah, exactly. Literally the only guy in town, the only show in town. The only risk is, do they just feed the running backs all game and bleed clock because Dallas blows? Or can Dallas keep this competitive? Because if this becomes like a sneaky competitive game, Ayuk will have probably 150 yards. I mean, honestly, I don't know what his prop bet is for tomorrow, CJ, but that is the one I want you to make sure to laser it on, because unless it's like 120, he's gonna smash. He's
Shanahan, did you see his quotes that I put in the article after the game? He was basically, he didn't want his rookie to get a big head, and he was just like, that wasn't that impressive. Whatever. Exactly. So I can just, and Shanahan's such a one of these offensive nerds that's just gonna game script all around with his toy and try to do all this stuff with all his injuries and everything. So
100%, exactly. An important point to bring up. I remember after the game, he was like, "Yeah, he hasn't really done that much yet." Exactly what you're saying. He said, we barely scratched what this kid can do, type of thing. Yeah. So what if they just decide to unleash him even more fully? I don't know that I buy what he's saying, but certainly with no Debo, Ayuk's just maybe not just as good, but pretty damn close as good after the catch. But then he runs such more of a complete route tree. I love the guy. I love Ayuk. If you have him, let us know your questions. I think Ayuk goes completely berserk this weekend.
It's kind of sad Belichick can't even pick the right Arizona State kid.
You're shouting to say this team clearly. How do you not see that this Ayuk kid is exactly what you want out of your slot receivers? Imagine. God damn. That is a great, I didn't even think of that because N'Keal Harry.
And you can't even, he's seeing N'Keal at practice and he's not even noticing, the better player is 2 feet right next to him.
Exactly. That is, painful realization to come over here. Alex Smith won't be playing. The only really no one's playing Alex Smith if you're in the semifinals, even in 2 quarterback leagues. But why does this matter? Well, Dwayne Haskins loves Terry McLaurin. So now all these questions I've gotten all week about Terry McLaurin become a little bit tougher. He's facing the Seahawks, most points allowed to wide receivers. Nobody there, in my opinion, can run with Terry McLaurin. So he could go berserk. You could get a 152 TD McLaurin day. And I love when people ask questions like this, where they're like, I started Keenan Allen. I need some juice. I need some upside. Yeah. Well, McLaurin has just about as much upside as anybody in the entire league right now. It's also a risk because Haskins sucks and McLaurin hasn't done much these last few weeks. So I bumped him up a couple spots. He's wide receiver 16, 17 or so in my rankings. If you have a McLaurin question, his floor does rise though when he has Dwayne Haskins, which is crazy that he's better with a crap bum at quarterback. Ultimately, I like him, but I've gotten some questions like Robert Woods or him, and I'm going to probably go Woods. I don't know. It's tough, but I feel better about him. Marquise Brown is expected to come off the reserve COVID list this week. He's facing a Jags team that already sucks. They're down 4 of their top secondary unit as well. So he's going to go crazy. He's had 3 straight touchdowns. I think he's kind of, emerged here. I think Lamar Jackson, he's my number 1 quarterback of the week. When he has his full weapons cabinet, he gets the Jaguars. He seems to be back. It's just the perfect recipe for a 35-point Lamar day. I'm surprised I haven't made some DraftKings lineups with him as the centerpiece because he's going to go crazy. And I think now that Marquise Brown is confirmed that he should be back, I guess it's not official till it's official, but I like Marquise Brown a lot. Evan Ingram's also considered questionable with a calf injury. And this is a midweek addition, which is never a good thing. Nobody likes midweek additions. So you need a backup plan. And Caden Smith would be the direct backup, but I would look towards Kyle Rudolph being out. Irv Smith would be the play, in my opinion, there. So I love Irv Smith. With Kyle Rudolph out last week, he had over 14 points and was the number, I want to say 3 tight end in scoring. In 2 of his last 3 games, Irv Smith's been the tight end 3, which is crazy.
We picked the wrong guy last week again.
And so we're going to go in again. We did, you know what? We did mention Irv Smith on the Sunday show. We were a little more in on like a couple others, but we mentioned him at least. This is the one. This is where I'm saying I'm going all in on him. So I like Irv Smith a lot if you need your tight end streamer. But the last tight end. So again, these tight end questions with Kittle, Evan Ingram. If you need another plan, Cole Kmet is also potentially going to be a featured target because Jimmy Graham is questionable. Kmet's already overtaken Graham as the number one. It's just a matter of like the touchdown ceiling goes up that much more because Graham's still a big red zone target. He scored last week. Whereas Kmet's like the more over the middle of the field. He can be a red zone target. It seems like Trubisky had that rapport with him, but if he's removed and you get the 7 target Kmet, but a couple of those are now in the end zone, that could be a big day for the guy. So I like Cole Kmet as a potential streamer. The last few notes, Gesicki, Parker, Jakeem Grant, Ahmed are all questionable. Again, on Friday, they practiced. In limited fashion. That just makes Lynn Bowden that much less attractive as a potential sleeper. He seemed entering the week like he's going to be the focal point again. And when he was 7 catches, 82 yards, running back eligibility, seemed like a nice little sneaky streamer. But at this point, if all these guys, or even if 1 or 2 of these guys are in, Bowden just becomes like it would have been fun. Probably not going to happen, even though he is athletic, versatile, all that good stuff. We get a decent streamer off our hands. Do you trust?
It seems like all these streamers from the waiver wire this week have just turned into irrelevancy.
I know exactly. As soon as they get like hyped and we get views on them, they become nothing. But Brandon Cooks, what about this guy? Do we trust him coming back to the lineup against the Colts? Like, it's risky.
I think so. I think so. I mean, if he plays, I know he always has like the ability to just fall apart in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But Watson loves him. It's better than that white guy, whatever his name is. So,
oh yeah, Hansen.
Scott Hansen's brother.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'd feel comfortable with Cooks over most. I mean, at this point, it's such like a mash unit just across every team with receivers. So
yeah,
I'd feel fine with Cooks.
And the whole offense benefits from a field stretcher like Cooks, especially no one more than Deshaun Watson, who last week we saw really take a nice nosedive without his field stretcher. And that's what Deshaun Watson does so well, is roping those deep ones when they emerge. So yeah, I think if you have Cooks, he's in your lineup. Like, he's a top 30 receiver for me at least. So it's fringe. I have him around that, like, Cole Beasley, like tonight type of tier. So we'll see what to do with him. Marvin Jones would be in that tier if Matthew Stafford plays, which he suddenly got a limited practice in. There might be a chance we get Matthew Stafford playing. And against the Titans, like, that's not a horrible stream option. Like, it's obviously he's been out all week. He's dinged up. It's risky, but the Titans are going to put their points up. There's no doubt about that. Suddenly your Titans also become a little more attractive if Stafford plays, because there's a better chance this game stays competitive. AJ Brown would have more juice. Like, Derrick Henry's going to blow up either way, but they might take him out early in the third if like they're just smashing him 35-0. Well, that probably won't happen if Stafford plays. So everybody, whether you have a Titans or a Lions player, you want Stafford, Hawkinson, Jones, Swift. Everything gets risen 10,000 times more if you have a Stafford instead of a Chase Daniels in your lineup. And that game becomes sneaky. Like, I don't know what the over-under's at right now. I bet you it's pretty low because Chase Daniels in there. I think the Titans are going to put up 35. So it's a matter of like, do we get 10 to 15 from the Lions? I think we have a much better shot at that if we have Stafford in. In fact, we will have that. So yeah, that would be a bet I wouldn't hate if Stafford plays at all. Some gross running back news is Connor practiced. Devonta Freeman also joined practice on Friday. Does this ruin Gallman? I don't think so. I feel like Gallman's really taken that job. Do you start Connor? I also don't think so. I think I can still start Gallman despite this news. What are your thoughts on Gallman this week? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's proven to be something for the first time in his career. And Freeman's nothing. He's old. He's dust. He's terrible. Yeah. I'm not really afraid of him. And then Connor, he also sucks. That running game is putrid. So for the first time in a long time.
I know. And it's like the one question is like, oh, but it's against Cincy. It's like, well, I don't know. I think against Cincy a week ago, he had like 40 yards, like nothing. He had 18 yards on 10 carries last week. And if he's out, I don't want Snell. I just don't want the run game. It's all about the pass game there with the Steelers. That's the last offensive note. The last final note, and then it's on to your questions. We got over 60 of them. Fuck yeah, I love this, Wolfpack. Key defensive injuries. Kendricks, Jimmy Smith, Darius Slay highlight the crucial names for your key defensive injuries. And so, Kendricks being the linebacker for the Vikings, that obviously helps out our Cole Kmet call with one of the top coverage linebackers. We got some, Jimmy Smith for the Ravens. They're down 3 of their top corners, as are the Jaguars on the other side. So like Minshew, I actually bumped up today to like QB 23 or 4. Not like you're probably starting him in a single QB league, but 2 QB leagues. The Ravens are going to put up their points. And with a secondary that's dinged up, don't be shocked to see like a one last fade into the sunset Minshew, like 3 touchdown day. I would not be surprised at all.
That's like the perfect situation for him.
It is. It really is. They're going to need their points. He's got a banged up secondary, and I think he's going to be under-owned on DraftKings. I think I don't even know his price, like 5,300. Nobody's going to want Jags. I know I was down on Chark on our Wednesday podcast, but now with Jimmy Smith out, and Marcus Peters is also questionable, not practicing all week. They might be down everybody in their secondary. Minshew and Chark and, Keelan Cole could all be viable suddenly. So I wanted to highlight them. And last but not least, Darius Slay as a concussion. I don't think he's officially exited protocol. He's questionable. They're already down Avonte Maddox, their second cornerback. They're already down their top safety. So Kyler Murray, a lot of questions about him right now. Like, one, you shouldn't be asking questions. I know he's been cold, but it's Kyler Murray. He ran a lot last week, so that's what I really wanted to see. You're going to get your Murray 30-point day. He's going to reward you if you've stuck it out with him this long. You're playing Murray. Don't worry about it. But also, and not like Darius Slay's this important. Hopkins is going to have a day no matter what, but even more so if Slay's out. Hopkins is projected to be one of the lower owned of the stud names, and I think he could have one of his like early season 30-point monster days with Kyler Murray with all these defensive injuries, with or without Slay. It doesn't really matter that much, but it's just that much better if Slay doesn't play. Alrighty, Wolfpack. That is everything we had. We got a good amount of questions here. There's a couple legends showing up, so cheers. And last time, if you want to give us that thumbs up, that would be awesome. So appreciate it to help us get out to more people, answer more questions. And of course, rotostreetjournal.com/support2020. If you're willing to give us a testimonial, a bunch of you did message it, and I actually greatly appreciate this. You're like, well, I do. I just want to see how the last week goes. Not because I'm going to like not give you one if we don't win, just because I want to see if I win the title, I want that to be part of my testimonial. So you know what? I get that. I kind of bitched at you guys on Thursday, and a bunch of you responded and wrote some. I mean, the words you guys are writing, it just from the personal level, it means so much. It's nice to be validated. I don't need positive praise, but it certainly doesn't hurt to hear what we've done for you guys. But also too, just like some of you got Tunes, for example, writing about how it's all about the fans and how we really care about your teams and stuff. That's the vibe we want to give off, and I'm so happy with it. What's that?
That's so cute.
It was amazing, but I'm glad like it captures. I'm glad, because that's at the end of the day, like when we go to investor and we're like, hey, this is what people have to say about this. Like that means so much more instead of us to be like, this is the vibe we want to get. You guys saying what we do and how we're different. That's how we're going to take this to the next level. So it would be so greatly appreciated whether you do it now, end of the season. We just want to keep pumping it. And I know I'm annoying and begging for it, but if we've helped you out at all over these last few years, this is the off season. We're going to go real hard at trying to make this a real thing. So any way you guys can help with that would be amazing. Now, after that long-winded speech, did you have anything else to add, CJ? I feel bad.
Not on that, but I did just see the Eagles tweeted that Slay didn't travel and he's out.
Oh, so Slay's officially out. So even less defensive worries. Your Falcons, your Cardinals are going to go crazy. But yeah, cheers again, Wolfpack. Thank you so much for being with us to this point of the year. We do greatly appreciate it. Even if you don't fill anything in, it's just awesome having you in each and every week. It's the best. So thank you so much, Wolfpack. I greatly appreciate it. And let's get on to your questions now.
Good Saturday morning to you both, says Denny.
Good to see you, Denny. Hope everything's recovering well for you, brother.
JDS. Hell yeah, Wolfpack.
All our usual suspects. I love it. Coming out for a Saturday.
Tim Gray, who would you sit out of Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and Akers? I have the Rams defense, so I'm really considering sitting Jones. That's a tough problem to have.
This is a really tough one, Tim. I'm probably sitting Akers. Jones is, he underwhelmed last week against Detroit in the ultimate smash spot. He didn't really deliver. So I can understand if you want to bench him. He's in such a good smash spot again tonight, though. Carolina's a bad run D. And every time you sit Jones, like I've only done it once when I've owned him, and he put up 35 to give me a middle finger. Like I have PTSD from sitting Jones, so I have a very hard time recommending somebody else sits Aaron Jones. And I'm not sitting Taylor on his heater right now. 30 points last week, now gets an even easier matchup. The Houston team giving up the most points. Reich said all year, we'll ride the hot hand. He never really gave this guy a chance to get the hot hand early on, but it's very, very clear to see. Like Taylor is one of the better backs in the NFL, never mind on his own team when the other competition's Jordan Wilkins and Naeem fucking Hines. You got to imagine Reich has realized very clearly, as he showed last week, Jonathan Taylor's our motherfucking guy, and I think he's gravy the rest of the way. He's my favorite of these options. I have him higher than any of these guys. Akers is so hard to sit, but it's like he's at, here's the deal. I don't think they're going to go back to a committee. It's Akers is the workhorse here. It's just the other two options are so great. The Jets matchup is nice for Akers, but they're surprisingly a lot better against the run than they are the pass too. So I'm going to sit Akers. It's a tough one. I'm going to play Jones and Taylor. I know that was a long-winded answer, but these are three options. I've gotten some surprising questions about Tim Gray. I wish it could squeeze all three in with the flex, but what about you? Are you going to?
Yeah, no, I'm in line with you there, but yeah, I wish you could open up the flex for him, but yeah, I'm sitting Akers out of this bunch. You can't sit Aaron Jones, especially during playoff time. He's always known to kind of turn on at the end of the season, and then Jonathan Taylor is just so hot right now. You can't push him.
Yeah. Exactly. So that we're in alignment there. We're benching Akers, Tim Gray. Taylor's the only one that you like lock in. And I guess there is the risk like Reich becomes an asshole again, but I don't think so. Not at this point.
Yeah. Mitch Chavez, good morning, guys. I've got Jones playing today.
It's a good one to be able to root for in a great matchup, Aaron Jones. I hope he scores 35 for you, Mitch, maybe even more. Love it.
Awesome. First, their beer's already cracked.
I love to hear, Austin. Cheers to you, my man. This is a beer, even though it looks I like a sour beers just blow my mind. Like I don't know how this is a beer and what it tastes like, especially the way Channel Marker does it. It's like literally like candy in a glass. It's so delicious, and it can get me drunk, so it's even better. But glad to hear the beer's already cracked. CJ, where's your drink? Get it going. You got OSU coming up.
Let's go grab my seltzer in a second. With Ingram,
I'll take a couple of questions without you. Go get your seltzer. Yes. With Ingram questionable, Cooks, Kmet, and Hurst are available. I'm guessing you mean Cook, Denny Jennings, not Cooks, because that's obviously a receiver. I would ask, is Irv Smith available? But of these guys, I love Jared Cook. He's got no Mike Thomas to worry about. He's got Drew Brees back. He's already scoring touchdowns with Taysom Hill, and that's what he's always been good for because Sean Payton loves peppering his tight ends close. I love Cook. Ingram scares me at this point. If I had Cook, I'd probably roll him. There it is. The nice Saturday crack. What flavor do we got here?
We got raspberry. I'm always a classic guy when it comes to my claws.
Ooh, I was a huge fan for a while. Everybody loved black cherry, but this summer when they released the new variety pack, the watermelon. I love the watermelon.
I was gonna say the watermelon is my least favorite out of all. Wow. 8 flavors, whatever it is total.
We're on just polar opposite ends of the seltzer spectrum here.
Grapefruit's up there, probably top 3.
You see, raspberry and grapefruit are like my 2 least favorites. So we're definitely
my two favorites, raspberry and grapefruit.
we are way on the opposite ends of the seltzer spectrum.
I do love the hoots though. The hoots are great.
Yeah. Night Shift does a great job. Absolutely. I said here, CJ, I like Cook. Jared Cook with Ingram questionable for Denny. I hate Hurst. I don't want anything to do with Hurst. We talked about Kmet, and I do think Kmet's a very intriguing streamer. But I like Jared Cook.
I'm going Cook there. Especially Brees is going to want to get rid of the ball quick. That's why I obviously love Kamara, and actually I would have liked Mike Thomas. But Cook's going to be like Cook and Kamara are just going to get a ton of targets, I think. Exactly. He's going to want to get rid of the ball in like 2 seconds, not take a lot of hits. So.
I totally agree. And he always has that huge touchdown upside, as we talked about, given how much, even with Taysom Hill quarterback, he's been scoring touchdowns because that's a huge staple of this offense. In the red zone, they use their tight ends creatively, and in Cook just is always a viable threat. Never mind the fact that the Chiefs give up the second fewest to wide receivers, but the 4th most to tight ends. Like it's kind of like the Bears in that same sense that they give up like the 3rd fewest to receivers, but like most to tight ends. It's like a similar type of defense they run. So I don't get that because whenever I watch the Chiefs, I just feel like they're getting destroyed by receivers. I don't know how exactly, right? Like I don't know. I think those stats are a little overrated. I'm not worried about it. Stat for like Emmanuel Sanders, the right type of quarterback. It's one of those things where like they play when they match up well, they take everybody out, and when they match up poorly and run like the type of offense like what the Saints do, in my opinion, I think they're going to be able to move the ball just fine. I'm not too worried about it.
Elias, Steelers D or Browns D?
You got to go Steelers against Cincinnati. Like Steelers are typically the answer no matter who they're playing, but then against the Bengals led by Brandon Allen, I like the Browns against Colt McCoy. I do, but Steelers are my number one D of the week.
Jake Knight, love you, Wolf and CJ.
We love you, Jake Knight. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in.
Campanelli, full PPR, start one of these tight ends. Tunyon, Goddard, Ertz.
I'm going Tunyon tonight, baby. Not Ertz. Not even close, David. And then I like Goddard, but we have to admit how this offense has changed with Jalen Hurts. And it's better for Miles Sanders. It's better for Jalen Hurts. They both ran for over 100 yards against a team that hadn't given up a 100-yard rusher in 3 years. That's crazy. That was wild to have 200-yard rushers in a game against a team that hadn't done that in 55 games. Wild. And that's how this offense is going to run. RPOs, and it worked out for both of them. It opened up huge lanes. Now, of course, you'll have film on that this week and all that. Ultimately, that makes the passing game options. Goddard was the main guy. He's still okay this week. I have him top 10, like 9 or 10. But Tunyon, he's been cooking lately. I don't know if Sternberger's playing. I don't think I really care either way. Rodgers is so hot. I think Rodgers, I know Mahomes is probably going to win MVP. I think Rodgers should, like, looking what Rodgers is doing it with, I think he should be right up there. And I've always been a Roger hater. This has been a podcast.
I've flipped, honestly. I've flipped on him a lot.
I have to. The way
just listening, he always does like a weekly spot with Pat McAfee, and he's like turned into a human now. He's like really funny. He's like cracks a bunch of jokes. He's like kind of cool. Like, where was this guy? He's been an asshole his whole life.
I have flipped on him so hard. He's probably the player I've taken like the biggest shift on in 1 year, maybe ever. Certainly this year. I respect what he's doing so much with the weapons he has. Just balling out week in, week out. Even when Adams is out, he's putting up 4 touchdowns a week. Like that to me is why. Like, you have Devontae Adams, okay, you can perform. But even without him, he's just dominating. So to me, he's by far, like, you remove him from his team and they're nothing type of idea. I really do love what Aaron Rodgers has done this year. And it has made me an Aaron Rodgers, not truther necessarily, because again, he was a little bitch for so much of his career, but he has become, like, as you're saying, just like the way he talks in post games, he's more about his team. It's certainly about, it's less about him. The question is about Tunyon anyway, so I don't know how we got on that tangent. It's a Saturday show. We're just all about tangents today. We're all about, the drinks. That's what it's about. So if you're here, you hopefully don't mind. I like Tunyon. He's my 10 and 4 of the week. I love Tunyon. He's had 3-4 straight good weeks. More weeks than not, he's been solid. And Carolina's nothing to be too scared about. And you get Saturday football action. What's better than fucking that? Get him on in.
Mike Less, anytime, anywhere, the Wolf is a must-watch.
Mike Less, I love you. You are somebody that, like, I know you're more than willing to submit a testimonial. You've done tips in the past. You're a legendary fan. We love you, Mad Money. But what I'm going to ask for is we need an audio submission from you or a video. If you're willing to go on video, even better. But your wine lines and everything, you're a fucking funny-ass dude, Mad Money. And we got to play some Catan sometime too. But get us a little video or audio submission from you, Mad Money, because you could speak about the Wolfpack, I feel like, just as good as anybody.
Hey, he's definitely one of the day ones. Craig Dupe, what happened to Mike Thomas? Honestly, I have no idea what happened to Mike Thomas.
It came out of nowhere, right? It absolutely came out of nowhere. Yeah, no clue.
Campanelli, what beers are we drinking today?
Well, so
I have a very manly drink.
Yeah, very manly show overall. I've got just the ultimate man football broadcast here. I have this beautifully colored sour.
In like your wine glass.
A beautiful glass to pour it in. I love their sours. They're so good. I know it might not be your typical manly football beers and seltzers show.
Budweiser.
Yeah, exactly. Give me my heavy dark stout. Which I do love. I love it at the right time. But it's early. It's Saturday, 11 a.m. A little seltzer, a little sour, a little fruit to get the day going.
Yeah, we don't need to shit our pants all day.
Exactly. So If you ask me what I'm drinking tonight, David, I'm going to drink a double dry hopped IPA, 10%er. But yeah, this is what the beer's got for your little Sunday tailgate.
So Jake Knight, Sanders or Corey Davis, full PPR.
I'm gonna go Corey Davis still. Detroit. I know he fucked people last week.
Yeah, I finally put him in my DFS lineup.
Of course,
waited 16 weeks for it.
That's how he goes. He always does this shit. As soon as you trust him, he blows. And when you don't, he's just blowing up on your bench trying to make a case for himself. I don't understand him. I don't know how it works, Jake Knight. Either way, I'm going to go Corey over Sanders because it just might be a huge Kamara day. It might just be a Jared Cook day. I like Sanders a lot. He's, again, top 35 receiver for me now. But the Chiefs, for whatever reason, are second against receivers. As CJ said, I don't know why. I don't see it. I don't know who they have on the outside. But they have been limiting the wide receivers for whatever reason. So, yeah, I'm going to go Corey Davis here. Are you, even though he screwed you last week, are you sticking to Corey Davis?
I feel more comfortable with Corey Davis. He going to be a free agent, still needs to kind of put some stuff on tape. Sure, we can have a full season together. So,
yeah,
I'm going Davis there. And then he's also asking 49ers D or Bucks D.
I kind of like the Bucks. No Julio. We've seen what that does to the Falcons offense, and it's not pretty. The Bucks defense is a better defense as a whole. I mean, the 49ers get a good matchup with Dallas. The matchups with Dallas, but I think Matt Ryan could really shit himself tomorrow. I lean Bucks here, but defense is always that's by far the hardest to project. What about you, CJ? Do you have a leaning either way?
I'm so out on defenses. I'd probably go with the Bucks. I mean, their secondary has turned into trash for some reason, but I still do, as you said, Matt Ryan kind of stinks without Julio. Offense just doesn't work the same. Like it. McChavez taking a shot of Long Branch Tree guys. All right.
A nice 11 a.m. shot from Mitch. Love to hear it.
Actually, I think that's a Man City logo that he has, and they're playing right now.
There you go. So yeah, maybe he had some extra incentive to drink too with the Man City. There you go. What is Long? Do you know what Long Branch is, CJ? I have literally no clue.
I would guess it's like a whiskey.
11 a.m. is pretty damn.
It's bourbon.
A bourbon. Mitch Chavez. Impressive stuff. I don't know if you saw his video testimony, and thank you so much for that, Mitch. At the end, he pans to a very sweet poster at the end. I'll just tell you that. I'm not going to give it away. But it's fucking awesome, Mitch. And thank you so much. That was so appreciated, your kind words.
So on the last show, we should make a little video montage.
Yeah, if we get a handful, I'd love it. We'll definitely make a little montage, no doubt.
Bring a couple tears to our eyes. Craig Sarno, what's up, boys? My opponent had Allen, Jacobs, Eckler, and the Raiders kicker. He's feeling pretty good after Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jacob did well. You kind of expected that. And then to have Allen just completely bust. And Eckler, I thought Eckler was going to go for 20. You got to be feeling pretty good so far, Craig. Now, don't get complacent. Don't you get greedy in your mind, because the fantasy gods can read minds, as we've learned anything this year. As soon as you start to think you're safe, somebody's going to put up 50 against you. So stay the course, but I'm glad to hear that you're on the right path, brother.
Kevin Elliott, we need the Silent Assassin's address so we can hang him a Herbert jersey on his wall behind him.
Yeah, perfect.
I know. I ride that guy's dick all year, and then the one time I ever sat him from the second he's been a starter, just would have put 30 on my board. But. You
gotta put one on the wall just to remind you of our sins.
I love their jerseys are sick too. I love that. He's definitely going to be one of our. As we always talk about our little office with the jerseys. It's going to be Tyreek, Mahomes, Cave, Robbie Anderson. Herbert.
Yeah, we have our definite RSJ staples, which I love. Herbert would be definitely one of them. And I'm just going to call it now. Why not? 2021, Herbert's throwing 50 touchdowns. They're going to get Jamar Chase in the draft. They're going to sign Joe Brady to be their coach or coordinator. Probably, I imagine the head coach. He wouldn't move coordinator to coordinator laterally. And Herbert's going to go absolutely berserk. So I just know it now. Next year, you want Justin Herbert. It's not any rocket science here. It's kind of like Kyler Murray coming into this year. We know he's going to blow up, but are you going to be the one with the balls to risk a 5th, 6th round pick to do it? Normally, I don't on quarterback. I think this year is kind of changed my philosophy. I'll talk about this all in like lessons learned and stuff somewhat later.
I was gonna say we're about 10 days away from your like 2021 big board.
I might do it this week. I think I just kind of want to do it this week. Exactly.
Drop it next Monday night.
Yeah, instead of the rest of the season big board, because no one needs it at week 16. Maybe I'll do a 2021 big board setting. Exactly.
Get registered on Google, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Early SEO, exactly. But yeah, Herbert's going to go crazy. He's already going to be one of my guys. And as I was saying, the philosophy switch of like, I've always a wait on QB guy. If you did it with Rodgers this year, obviously it panned out. But this year, like the 5th, 6th rounders, the Murrays, the Dak until he got hurt, like those were the guys that are or were going to be league winners if without injury. And I think Herbert's going to be that guy. And it's like you look at the running backs you're drafting there, Mostert, and like the receivers, there were some pretty good ones. Like I wouldn't have taken the quarterback before Metcalf or Keenan. Easy to say in hindsight, but like we were so in on Terry, DK, those guys. But after that, there was a drop off where it's like, why not just get like the upside? And it was clear this year if you had one of the Russell Wilson, right? Any of those guys in the middle rounds, that was the edge. Not getting Mahomes, who's been great, but at a second rounder, you were still getting maybe Devontae Adams or like one of the Josh Jacobs. But that middle round quarterback range, that's where the value lies. And Justin Herbert.
Yeah, but then you're going to miss out on the next Herbert.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. For the middle rounds is where the quarterbacks are. That's Herbert.
No, but I'm saying say how we do like 0 QB basically. Like we wait till like round 10 or more. Like you wouldn't have Justin Herbert on your team in 2020.
I bet you. Oh, well, this year, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Again, that's true. Who's also been a potential league winner. But in 2021, you got to imagine he's going round 6.
Yeah, right? I was saying from this year, like if you're going to spend a 6, you're not gonna take 2 quarterbacks in the draft. So it's
exactly. And nobody was really drafting Herbert anyways. He was like one of the waiver wires of the year. Him, James Robinson's obviously the number 1. There's been a few crazy. We'll do our rotos. We'll do our awards show at the end of the year. That will be the time to reflect. All right. Thank you, David.
Sarno needs 1 receiver and a flex, half PPR. Ayuk, Robbie, Pittman, Beasley, and CEH. Ayuk's the lock in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Ayuk is 100% in here. To me, it's coming down to it's not going to be Pittman for me. I think T.Y.'s kind of reasserted himself. He's the number 1. Pittman could have a good day too, but it's not going to be him for me. I mean, do we go back in on CEH one last time? He's actually someone I did bump up my rankings today. I think I might just try for CEH.
Even after that Saints stat?
They just got destroyed on the ground. And the offense of the Chiefs is what I'm less worried about because it's not about his rushing yards anyways. It's about the receiving. It's about the touchdown. But he just hasn't been scoring touchdowns. I don't know because I like Beasley a lot. Like I do. And I like Robbie unless Robbie draws Jair, which could be a brutal matchup. Ayuk's the only one I feel so like locked in on. He's tiers above these guys. My gut is kind of telling me Robbie here, but I don't know. What about you, CJ?
I'm not liking CEH. I feel like they're going to want to get into a shootout with the Saints and see if they can keep up with them. I think Beasley's so safe, and especially how he said above that opponent like just has like no chance. Kind of, it's like you want like Beasley will give you 12-ish, probably more.
And he does have the ceiling to go. We've seen him do 30 this year. Like you got. I think that's a really good point. Is I wasn't considering where you were at, Craig. Like you have a nice lead and a great safe spot. So you just want nice safe play. Like Ayuk's got your ceiling, boom. Whereas Robbie could be like taken out by Jair Alexander. Pittman could be nothing. CEH might just not be part of the plan. I like Beasley. You know you're getting 10, and he still has like a 25-point ceiling. Yeah. So especially in PPR, I like that a lot.
And Benelli, I got a Wentz jersey if you want it. I know Dane Jennings thing kept on.
I love it. You put it up in your background there instead of
unless he's on the Patriots next year, we'll see.
A little reclamation project for Bill.
Ilias, do you think Kittle will return next week?
I do, and either way, if he doesn't, it's worth holding on and seeing. Like if he doesn't, you cut him next week, and so be it. But it's worth a top 5 tight end next week if he plays. So you hold on, Ilias. You hold on.
First, McKissick, Dobbins, or Mark Andrews, or possibly Ahmed if he does play. He lost Gibson and Rojo.
Oh, I love Dobbins. I mean, I love Andrews, so it's like who at tight end? He's my number 3 tight end of the week. So who do you have above him? But I'm going Dobbins. Like 67% of the snaps last week. Yeah, Edwards had 2 touchdowns. Is that annoying? Of course it is. Could Edwards do it again? Yes. I just think this might be Dobbins' coming out party this week. Like he's had a few really good games, 70 yards, touchdown, 5 catches here or there, like solid 18, 20. This could be the week he goes 25, 30. Like the last week was Taylor's coming out party. This could be Dobbins's.
Yeah.
And compared to the other guys, like Andrews, Andrews could catch. It's not McKissick. Let's just toss him out. Not McKissick. Andrews could also catch 2 touchdowns against the Jags. So it is tricky, but like who's your tight end over Andrews? Unless you have Kelsey or Waller already went, then it's Andrews. It's Kelsey, Waller, and then it's Andrews. So hopefully you can lock in Andrews and Dobbins. But if it's one or the other, I lean Dobbins. Who would you lean out of these options?
Yeah, I'm going with the running back there. I'm going with Dobbins. Obviously not McKissick, but yeah, I agree with that. I'm going Dobbins there. I hate doing the double tight end too.
Yeah, I do too.
If it is Andrews.
It actually has won more Millie Makers this year than it has in any other year in the past.
Is it like a Kelsey Waller thing?
Kelsey and then Kelsey and then often like a 2,500 tight end that goes crazy and catches like 2 touchdowns. That because on DraftKings, you know how they like the tight ends are so underpriced as a one position slot. So
and you can basically Waller and Kelsey are both receivers basically. So.
Exactly. So yeah.
Sorry, no. Hey Denny, I sat Herbert. That hurts. Hopefully, Allen has a good game this week. I feel comfortable.
Craig asked us that one. We said Allen, but even then, Allen could match what he did. And it was again, if there was no overtime, we could play if. But if there was no overtime, like he had 17, 18 heading in overtime, it was like a decent game, but it wasn't one where everyone's like, "Fuck, I benched this stud." And then overtime happened, and he had 10 more points added. He ended up rushing in a score, like the worst possible.
And completing like a 60-yard bomb.
Exactly. Like he was at 17. Imagine if overtime starts and he throws a pick and he ends with 15. Like it could have gone that way. It obviously didn't, and it sucks if you benched him. But I don't hate our process in that one. Like he was not letting up the
Tigers missed 2 game-winning field goals.
Exactly. And I shouldn't say he wasn't lighting up the world because he looked good all game. They just pulled the Anthony Lynn makes me fucking hate Herbert because he pulls in the reins. He's like a former running back that loves to just hand it off 30 times. Like those old school, like get the fuck out. Get
Did you see so I want to say his prop was like 267 passing yards. And he was at like 250 at halftime, and he threw the ball once in the third quarter. Then he ended up I think it took until overtime until that.
It took that bomb, right?
To go over it. So literally the second half, he had like 50.
I think he threw 50 passing yards or something of that nature in the second half, which was like I felt good about our call, and then overtime happened, and it was like, well, shit. If you benched him on our behest, apologies, but. Yeah, Allen still has the upside to come close, if not even beat it. Like we've seen 40-point days out of Allen. So we'll see how it goes tonight, Craig. It does hurts, but Danny Jennings loves the hurts puns. So yeah, it hurts, but I think you're in okay standing.
Sports and bigs, PPR flex and running back purgatory. Pittman, Zach Moss, Benny Snell, James White, Peyton Barber. Gross.
This is purgatory.
So pick 2 of these creatures.
Ooh. This is bad. This is bad. Man. So I'm guessing there's no like for the flex like Russell Gages. There's no nobody was dumb and dropped Sanders. Gabe Davis. Like I would have Gabe Davis over any of these guys tonight with no John Brown. So I just want to toss out. So like honestly, this is one where I might even streave like Irv Smith in my flex. I don't like the double tight end, but I think Irv Smith has a really good bet as a touchdown. So, like, let me know if any of those guys are available. And if not, okay, I like Michael Pittman the most. I think he has a good ceiling against Houston with no Bradley Roby. And then if I have to pick a running back of this group, you're going for a touchdown. Maybe Peyton Barber. Like, pounds one in. It's imagine having Peyton Barber though. And you don't deserve like maybe just putting Zach Moss for respectability, even though it's not that respectable. I don't know.
You know what Peyton Barber's stat line's going to be too. It's going to be like
11 carries, 20 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
1.3 yards per clip. Like 14 yards would be the over/under I'd set on him. Yeah, it's ugly. But I would look for those guys. I'm trying. Did we throw out any good like Hail Mary running backs? I don't really think there are that many. Like Jeff Wilson was the early one we picked. We talked about him last week as a stash. So hopefully people got ahead on that. I can't
really think of anyone else on that.
If Connor was going to not play, I guess it would definitely be Snell. But I think I would go Barber and just hope for a touchdown type of thing. Gross, but it is PPR, so maybe James White catches a handful.
Ken doesn't even do that either.
No, he doesn't. You're right. Like Pittman, go Barber is where I would go, and it's gross, but you just got to pray for the touchdown there.
Campanelli at this point, that may be a better fire starter than Walworthy. Oh, the Herbert jersey. Oh
yeah,
no, the Wentz jersey.
There you go, exactly right.
Mitch Chavez, I like Dobbins as well with that matchup. A guy in my group asked him or McKissick. I said Dobbins. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, 100% Dobbins. Definitely Dobbins. I think Dobbins is going to go berserk.
Mad Money, Bustin Justin showed up for Team Mad Money, but now looking to make up for Keenan Allen's disappearing act. Full PPR, pick a tight end, Ingram or Irv Smith, and then a flex, DJ Moore, Crowder, Lynn Bowden, or DeAndre Washington.
Who's Bustin Justin?
I'm guessing Herbert.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
So he had Herbert and Keenan, so now he has to make up for Keenan's point.
So yeah, that kind of balanced each other out. So that's good at least. But we need to set some upside here. I mean, I loved Ingram. He was the not number one, but like he was my tight end hire of the week on our Wednesday turn Thursday show. But the risk is, what if he doesn't play Sunday night? Like, I wish that was a 1:00 game. We could just know, because the matchup against Cleveland is as tasty as you could ask for. But that's a risk. And if there's no backup plan, and there really isn't, unless you have like Ebron for Monday night, I got to go Irv Smith here. Of the flexes, oh boy, I'm going to go DJ Moore. I just get one, Saturday action. Love some Saturday action. And two, look at these other pieces of shit. Crowder gets probably Ramsey. Lynn Bowden would have been intriguing, but now with Parker, Gesicki, all those guys back, And then DeAndre Washington, you have, Ahmed potentially back. Like, if all those guys end up out, all the guys that are questionable, then Bowden or Washington would be interesting. But you have to decide on DJ Moore tonight. And I expect out of all those guys, at least a couple will be active, if not all of them. Yeah. I'm going to go DJ Moore. Just go for it, and especially if Samuel's out too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I like DJ Moore tonight.
Yeah.
Campanelli, stouts and sours made to get Wolf a sour stout. CJ watching the figure with the White Claws. a sour stout.
Yeah, you watching that figure over there, CJ?
Always. No need to drink those silly beers.
Keeping it tight over there.
The sour stout. Have you seen those? I don't know. Is it a local one that does like the Sour Patch Kids?
I've seen those. I've seen the Warheads too.
Yeah, that just looks terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge sour guy until again, channel marker. Good stuff. Sour stout sounds disgusting. that sounds disgusting.
Mike Less, need an old planner special RSJ brew, Wolf's Blood Sour.
That's who doesn't want some wolf's blood in them? Yes, Mad Money. That's where we fish. That's where I fish. I don't know if you were your first time meeting Mad Money, but that was my first time meeting Mad Money at our old planners event. And who was it? It was Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson had like a 90-yard bomb, and he asked us to sit start at the show, so we all went crazy at old planners. That was a fun fucking day.
Back when bars were things.
Back when we could have fun with friends. Wolfpack, again, just real quick, that always love giving that cheap plug, but a thumbs up button helps us get out to more people, helps us answer more questions and grow the pack, so it's greatly appreciated. And that could be on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, shares, dropping it in groups you're in, all that good stuff. Please do. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And then if you join, check out rotostreetjournal.com/support2020, or at least bookmark it. If you want to wait till the end of the season to see what your fortunes are, absolutely. Sure. A lot of you, again, and I appreciate it, message me like, I promise I'm going to submit one, whether I'm in or out, I'm going to make it. Don't worry. But ultimately, either way, just keep that on the radar because it does mean the world to have your nice words about us. We just greatly, I was sitting reading the ones that people submitted last night, and it was just like, after a long season, we're all that like burnt out kind of period.
Yeah.
And all right, this is fucking awesome. It's nice for us personally, but it will go a long way too. In the offseason when we make these pitch decks, when we make, as CJ said, like a compilation, a highlight tape, like your words are going to be in there. So it would be so greatly appreciated. All righty. Where did we leave off?
Go back to Giuseppe.
Our guy Giuseppe.
Giuseppe, Gage, Crowder, Myers, or Gurley, flex, half PPR.
I go Gage here. I like Gage. I don't like Crowder this week. And Gurley's just so touchdown or bust, and the touchdowns haven't been coming. So give me Gage, a nice fill in there.
Campanelli, Wolf should collab with the local brewery for RSJ beer.
Here we go. Are you listening to Old Planners channel marker? Collab coming. I bet we could pull something off. We've done a couple shows at places. Like, I bet we could pull.
We need to get inside channel marker. We still haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's a tight space. Once that opens up, we would love to get in there that'd be like a nice little intimate show. I don't even know if we need like a microphone.
That'd be a VIP. You just spend like $100 at the door.
Yeah, exactly. An evening with Wolf and CJ. Like, we'll read some stand-up poetry. Like, we'll do a little stand-up act.
Intimate set starts.
Exactly.
Robert Sled, PPR, Moore, Gallman, or Ahmed.
I'm gonna probably Gallman here. He's just been he hasn't been below 11 points, and he's been 18 to 20 ceiling. So I like that nice safety. Moore is a big ceiling, and if Curtis Samuel doesn't play, I would probably change to Moore. So track that tonight, obviously. But if Samuel, everybody's active, I think I'm leaning Gallman. If Moore goes off, I'm sorry. It's not Ahmed though. It's not Ahmed for me. I'm gonna go Gallman personally.
Denny, Breeze, or Tenny?
I like Tanny here. I know that the negative potential here. They blow him out. Henry goes 300 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and Tanny's just kind of there handing the ball off. Very real possibility. I think even in those games, we typically see Tanny run one in, throw a bomb to, A.J. Brown on play action. He typically will get like 18 to 20 in these easy matchups. With the ceiling, like maybe Henry does a shitload of work, but it is Tanny that pounds it in at the end. You never know. So I go Tanny here and side with safety. Even though Breeze does have a big ceiling, it's a pretty big risk. Yeah. Coming off that big injury. One hit and he could be done. So I'm going to go Tanny there.
And Chavez with Breeze playing, that should help Mahomes and Kelsey's upside with the game potential?
I think so too, right? Because the game pace is a lot slower when you have Taysom Hill, bleeding clock, run. It just limits how many plays you can have. Whereas Breeze, a lot of dink dunked. If that type of game, I think it's pretty much similar. But I think the potential of a huge explosion game, a back and forth shootout, is obviously way higher with Breeze than it is Taysom Hill.
Denny, fuck Julio's hamstring. I agree.
Fair.
That's been such a problem for so long.
Maybe we just shut him down so we don't even think about him anymore. Can we just cut him?
Take a year off.
Exactly. Go away.
Anthony Acosta, Hurts or Breeze?
That's tough. My 9 and 10 right there. And my 9 is Hurts and my 10 is Breeze. I think when you have the rushing floor, like Hurts did nothing as a passer last week. I think it was like 57% completion. Nothing that special.
He's not as a passer.
No, and he's not a great passer. And yet he still scored 20 fantasy points because he ran it 18 times. Like it's one thing to have, 5 random scrambles and you get 50 yards on them, but to have 18 rushes, like that's the game. They ran the RPO however many times, and the offense clearly was better for it. They just upset. Who were the Eagles just playing last week? The Saints, right? They just upset the Saints. The hardest, as we said, the hardest run D to go against. They had 200-yard rushers. So I love that rushing upside. And I'm going to go with that because then any extra added passing stuff is just syrup on like extra fucking hot fudge on your Sunday. Like I like Hurts this week. I really do. That's a tough one though. Am I crazy to go with the big risk of Hurts? Like it doesn't feel that risky.
They're both risky. They're both risky, but in different ways.
Right.
I know I'm afraid of Breeze. Honestly, I think I'm going to pivot to Big Ben. I've been like talking myself out of Breeze the more I think about it.
I guess it's one of those things where like the ceilings aren't too far off. Breeze's ceiling is probably higher in a shootout. But the floor is like, you're not going to get less than 15 from Hurts just on rushing. He's going to probably run 70 to 100 yards again.
Sure.
And so he's hitting 15. Breeze, if he gets one bad hit, might be out of your lineup, like crush you. So, similar ceilings and a much higher floor for Hurts, Anthony. I'm going to go Hurts there.
Denny, Gage, AB, or Jeff Wilson for the flex after PPR?
I know AB hasn't really validated why we keep going with him, but we do. And I kind of want AB here. I have AB above Gage, and I just don't love – half PPR. Okay, Jeff Wilson I think is a good bet for a touchdown. I might go Jeff here. I think this is one where I'd go Jeff. Like, there's not a ton, but this is one where I go Jeff. What about you?
I'm feeling I still like Gage. I don't know. There's something about him for some reason where I like really believe in him. I don't know. I started him last week and I felt really smart, and in DraftKings too.
Yeah.
And I like Gage there. He picks up the slack pretty well for a nobody.
Yeah. There you go. CJ really believes in Gage. That's the the stamp you need for Denny. I go Wilson here, and I think he gets into the end zone is the way I'm playing that.
Awesome. First there, Dobbins has the matchup, but
Dobbins is the play, brother. Dobbins is the play.
Noto, Wolf, Irv, or Ebron?
I'm going to go Ebron against the Bengals. Easy matchup, more involved. Love Irv as a streamer, but I'm going to go Ebron here. Do you agree?
Yeah. I've been an Ebron guy. He does have his drops, but Ben keeps peppering him. So
yeah,
that whole team has the drops right now.
I guess that is the risk because we saw Deontay get benched for drops. Like, it could happen to Ebron if we get one bad drop, like right to the bench. That would be tough. Yeah. And Irv again, tight end 3 last week and tight end 3 a couple weeks before that. But I go Ebron here. I do.
Tunes, Pollard, CEH, Irv Smith, or Gage for the flex. I do have Ridley, so I'm not sure if he wants to double up on the Atlanta receiver. I agree with that.
Yeah, that makes it risky. I think it's Pollard if Zeke sits. If not, I'm leaning CEH and just hoping my first round pick has something in the pants. I don't know. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go CEH here. What do you think, CJ?
Yeah, I'm not going double tight ends. I'm not doing the double receivers either. I'm going CEH. One time.
There we go. We got Beasley or Gabriel Davis and Mostert or Wilson, PPR. So I know for those 49ers, I lean Wilson. He's played more snaps, more red zone. I know CJ likes Mostert of the 49ers guys. I prefer Wilson. Beasley or Davis, I'm going to go Beasley. He's the clear number 2. I know Davis has scored those touchdowns, and is he going to find the end zone tonight? Yeah, probably. But I think Beasley, whether he finds the end zone or not, is going to get you 8 catches, 90 to 100. Like, he's just so steady and safe. So I go Beasley and I go Wilson. I'm guessing you go Mostert, Beasley.
Yep.
There you go.
George Lou, Akers or Aaron Jones?
Great question. I wish you could have both in. I'm going to go Aaron Jones if I have the options, and I have to bench one. I wish I could have – they're both top 10 for me, both top 10 running backs. I'm not benching Aaron Jones.
Campanelli, do you think Rodgers and Allen get over 5.5 total touchdowns between the two of them?
Rodgers and Allen, yeah.
Total touchdowns, I don't know if that counts as rushing, but I kind of like that, I think.
Especially with rushing, because both of those guys, obviously Allen more so, but
Rodgers does always get like a sneaky touchdown sometimes.
He's rushing, I'd want to say at least 2 or 3 this year. So if rushing includes, and it's the total between them, yeah. I think Rodgers is good for 3. And you got to think Allen's probably good for 3. And if you also get the ground ones, that's with the ground ones, I guess, too. So assuming you get rushing touchdowns, yes. And even if not, probably. But I'd feel pretty good about that.
Allen, has he had a rushing touchdown in a while? I feel like he's been throwing it to his tight ends inside the 5 a lot.
Who, Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has.
He's been hitting like Dawson Knox and then that other random guy. Oh, like Tyler Croft or something. I forget. But. Yeah,
Croft's been a healthy scratch actually lately.
Whatever the other tight end is, he's like.
Yeah. It is gross. It is gross. I think he gets it, and I think Josh Allen's gonna run one in this night.
BA Billy, Jarvis or James Conner?
I love Jarvis. The Giants are down Bradbury plus their slot corner, so 2 banged up guys. And And Landry's been hot as hell. So I screw Connors. Connor sucks. So go him.
Richard R. Flex PPR, Jeff Wilson, Claypool, or T. Higgins?
I like Wilson. I mean, Claypool has that upside, but he's been playing fewer snaps than Washington, and that scares the shit out of me. Like he did have 17 against Cincy last time, so I'd be nervous to bench him, but I like Wilson even with Mostert. I think Wilson finds the end zone, and it's just a matter of how involved as a rusher is he from there. I go Wilson. Did you go Claypool or Higgins instead of him?
No, they're starting Finley this week too. I like Claypool still, even though the snap decrease is kind of alarming. But I'm going with Claypool.
Yeah,
hopefully they turn things around. They are kind of a massive receiver right now. You know, they're so talented. They have dropped a ton of balls. Claypool's not playing as much, but I can see them starting to put up some points soon.
Claypool could go nuts. I mean, you could get a 30-point Claypool day. We've seen him put up 40 this year, so it's tricky to bench him. If you're an underdog, then I guess you got to go Claypool. But me, I think Wilson's a nice bet for the touchdown, a decent bet for about 50 to 60 total yards and a handful of receptions. So I think there's a nice floor there. But we shall see. Wolfpack, we're just on the fringe of 20 likes on a Saturday, an impromptu surprise Saturday show. Love it. But can we get over 20? Could we even hit 30 today? Who knows? But let's keep going.
Really, Taylor is the man, but Beverly still sucks.
What a douche. Loser. Not answering anymore, B.A. Billy. Yeah, this is the guy that commented in a couple of weeks ago. Thanks for recommending Taylor, you assholes. Oh, now Taylor's the man. Well, fuck you, B.A. Billy. I know where you're from. I don't want to say it sucks on air because it could get me fired.
Okay, I got it now. Denny Jennings, Dave Campanelli. As long as there's not to Adams. Oh, as long as the
Adams is going to catch.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that happens.
Yeah, Adams is going to do some shit tonight. Like, sorry, but Adams is going to catch some balls.
Yeah, I'm pulling for you. I have the DraftKings boost to plus 125 and the over for that bet. The over 5.5 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, I like that bet.
Jacob Beatty, Jeff Wilson, or Devontae Parker against the Patriots if he plays. He does own Gilmore, so.
He does own Gilmore, but I don't trust him with Tua. Tua has just not looked his way at all. It's crazy splits between Tua and Fitzmagic for Parker. And I think again, Wilson is a solid bet for a touchdown. So I'm gonna go Jeff Wilson there.
Beatty again, Brees or Ben.
That's your exact dilemma, CJ. And as we broke down earlier, Beatty, I mean Ben is the higher floor, not a far off ceiling. I personally love Brees tomorrow. I think that's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a fun-ass game, and I want pieces of that. Why not get the centerpiece of the Saints side of it? There is the risk he gets a tough hit to the ribs, the risk that they involve Taysom Hill more either way. Ben against Cincy, right in 18 points, and you could probably get to 25. Cincy's not going to keep it competitive enough that Ben's going to have to throw for 4 touchdowns. So the ceiling is with Brees going nuclear because they have to keep pace with Mahomes, and I always side with ceiling myself. But Ben is so much safer if you're in a spot where you just want safety. Which way are you leaning with this one, CJ? Because you have to make this dilemma. Who are you picking?
Now I just keep thinking about. I'm just like imagining Taysom Hill fucking jogging in on like the 15-yard line, stealing a touchdown.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna end up leaning Ben. I think I'm gonna go Ben.
So we got Ben for CJ, ceiling for me with Brees. Let us know what you pick, Abady.
Kevin Deegan, PPR pick 1, DJ Moore, Hunt, CEHAV.
I like Kareem here. I mean, I guess the Giants script is a little nerve-wracking because he was so good on Monday night because they had to throw, and he's the pass catcher. They should destroy the Giants, but I imagine Hunt will find the end zone against that team. DJ Moore is making me like, ooh, I kind of like it, but it's risky. First game back. If Samuel sits, I'm going to change my tune on DJ Moore. He'll probably be a top 25 receiver for me. For now, I'm going to go Hunt. Do you have one that you lean differently?
I do like DJ Moore a lot, but yeah, I kind of like how they got Hunt involved again in that shootout. I'll go with you. I'll go with Hunt there. Campanelli, my dog here is Wilson CJ and looks in right next to me, locks in right next to me. Think she is planning on joining a fantasy league next week.
It'll be a monster opponent for any people that your dog's up against. She'll be fed and bred the right way.
Bro, 2 nights. Clyde or Dobbins PPR?
Dobbins, definitely Dobbins, my man. Good to see you, Terrell. You've become a loyal fan this year, new fan, and you've been here for every time since I think you found us. So love to see you. And I'm going to go Dobbins. I think this is the Dobbins breakout week.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going him.
Denny's going against Ayuk. Hopefully, he gets triple covered. I mean, they could.
They really could. They have Richie James and Kendrick Bourne. I think he's such a tough guy to defend, though, because you can just get him the ball at any point of the field. Like
they'll run him on jet motion.
Yeah, I'm all about Ayuk, and I'm sorry, Denny Jennings. I hope for my sake he blows up because that's our predictions, and DraftKings I haven't been in pretty much all of them. But good luck. I hope you make up points elsewhere, and he still goes crazy.
They're all too nice. Terrier JK.
Okay, so now it comes down to Terrier JK. This is tough. I've had this one a couple times. I'm leading JK. I feel better about it. Haskins, is it better for Terry? Yes. It's still Haskins. You're still tied to Dwayne Haskins, which is not exciting. So I go JK. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I typically go with the running back over the receiver. And I do love the Terry breakout, but I think JK's going to do it. Vegan, half PPR, love Ayuk, but flex him over either Mike Davis or Carson. He's starting AJ Brown and Diggs.
I start both receivers over him, but I do think I again am super high on Ayuk. I might play him over either of those running backs. I think I have Davis 12 and Carson 13. I think I would play Ayuk over either.
Yeah, I think I'm in line with you there.
So then I probably play Davis tonight at my running back 2 spot and leave it open. But you got Penny coming back. Like, Pete Carroll is just going to be a dick and hand it off to Penny 15 times for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Ayuk over Carson. I hope it doesn't shake your whole week up, Deegs, but that's what I'm going.
All right. Mike Key needs advice with Thomas out. Who should he start, Swift or Beasley? I'm leaning Swift, but him having Allen is making me think about it. Any thoughts?
That does also make it trickier because every point you get's a little bit dinged up with Beasley. If you told me Stafford was a lock for tomorrow, I'd love Swift. Swift makes me nervous if not, though. This offense could blow. It could do nothing. It might get shut out with Chase Daniel. So I'd probably go Beasley tonight unless we get any real big clues that we're going to get Matt Stafford tomorrow. I don't think we do. So I don't like Swift in that situation. That's tough. That's a really tough one, but fuck, I just clicked something. So now I'm suddenly out of here it is. All right, now I'm back in. I zoomed out by accident, but we're back.
First there, Rashad Penny is back in the mix.
Hey, right on cue. Exactly like we just talked about.
Nice segue. Mike Keenan, start Brees or Watson, 4-point touchdowns.
I have Brees higher. Cooks being back for Watson makes me feel a little bit better about Cooks. I might adjust that. Watson's definitely safer. It certainly is. I really am feeling Brees tomorrow, but I would probably, with my season on my line, unless I was a heavy underdog, I'd probably go Watson here.
DJ Johnson, half PPR flex. Samuel, if he plays, Ahmed or Gabe Davis? I go Gabe Davis.
I think Samuel if he plays. If not, I'm going to go Gabe Davis over Ahmed.
DJ again, half PPR, Fent or Herb Smith?
I kind of like Irv. Fan makes me nervous. The fact that he just kind of took himself out of a game and stopped playing, and I get he was sick, and there's obviously an added risk to that this year. But I don't know. Fan just hasn't been it this year.
No.
He had those 2 early games and nothing since. I'm gonna go Irv.
Wes Snipes, happy Saturday, boys. Feeling good about my matchup, but going back and forth between Watson and Tannehill. Watson got me here, but that Lions secondary is garbage.
I'm going to go Tannehill. Yeah, the Colts matchup is a little risky for Watson. It helps that he gets Cooks back. His ceiling's there, and there is the element of you go with who's got you there because your locker room respects it. In a vacuum, I'm going Tannehill. If you don't, It's not like they're that far apart. If you want to respect the guy that got you there, I respect that as a fantasy owner, and I totally get it. But I personally go Tannehill here.
Chill Will, PPR flex, TY or Dobbins?
Oh, 2 of my favorite plays of the week. That's a tough one. I probably go Dobbins because Ty, like, there's certainly a bigger chance that he disappears out of nowhere.
That's on the Texans, though.
He's been going nuts lately, and he always whips the Texans.
Yeah.
I like them both to go crazy, and I love both of their prices on DraftKings, but I'm leaning Dobbins here.
Mike Keenan start Aaron Jones or Cooper Kupp in the flex.
Aaron Jones.
Vance or Kmet. Or pick up Irv Smith.
I like Irv. I do like Irv. The last time we recommended a Vikings tight end, we got a goose egg. But I think Irv's a different beast than Rudolph. Like Rudolph is more of like a blocker and like he'll catch a couple. Irv they split out and they move him creatively. I like Irv against a defense that's really bad against tight ends, but good against receivers.
Praise Austin, Jalen Hurts, Rivers, or Mitch Trubisky for quarterback this week and next week. I mean, we can worry about next week when it happens.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you start getting ahead of yourself. The fantasy odds are going to smack the shit out of you. Don't you dare do that.
Especially with that trio of quarterbacks.
Exactly. We're not talking about next week. This week, I have Jalen Hurts the highest of these guys. I think Rivers is the safest. You're going to get 17 at minimum, and Rivers does have a big ceiling to throw for 3 or 4. I still like Jalen Hurts in that rushing upside. And Trubisky is like, obviously, he's got his own narratives. He's my Hail Mary of the week, but he's the biggest likelihood to just disappear and fuck you. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts here. What about you? You've always been a Rivers lover.
I kind of want to say Mitch.
Oh, it's out of nowhere.
I'm not big on Hurts. I understand the rushing and everything. I don't know. Trubisky's been playing really well. I really like Trubisky a lot. I was thinking of doing a few rounds with him too.
He could be a good. He's my Hail Mary of the week. I don't hate him, but the one thing with that is like they're facing the Vikings, and it's like their cornerbacks suck. So could he throw some touchdowns? Sure, but they just move so slow and bleed so much clock, and it's just like I went Brady all in last week, and it was like Brady didn't play horrible. He missed a couple wide open guys. But like he just didn't throw that many times because they didn't have that much volume. Like they didn't have the chance to. So I like Hurts to run. I think that game offers the biggest script of like blow. But so does Rivers. Like that game could go crazy too. I'm gonna go Hurts.
Elias, Ayuk or McLaurin?
Ayuk, baby, definitely riding Ayuk there.
For Chavez, McLaurin, I see him. Oh, okay, so I think he's answering this question. Maybe. McLaurin, I see him potentially doing well, but Seahawks have steadily improved on D over the last 4 weeks. Flowers is playing as the 17th best cornerback per PFF. Only 2 spots back from Ramsey over that time.
Good research from my man Mitch Chavez there. So it might be a harder matchup than the eye says.
Mitch Adams just broke the sack record for DB last week as well. It's a big record.
We were talking about the wrong Adams, I think, earlier.
Jamal
Adams. Yeah, it does change the complexion of that defense for sure.
Frank Bullitt, Rivers or Trubisky?
Isn't that crazy about Jamal Adams, by the way? Because he missed 5 weeks and he still broke the record for sacks. Like,
I thought it was a single. I think he had 4 last week.
That's insane.
I think it was a single game.
I remember he entered though when he went down. He already had 4 or 5.
They also play him basically as a linebacker.
Yeah, they move exactly. They blitz him so much, and clearly it works out. Adams does really change the complexion of that defense, so I think that is a good point for sure.
Rivers or Trubisky?
I go Rivers. We talked about that one a little bit earlier. I like Rivers here. I think he's safer and has a similar ceiling, but CJ's feeling the Trubisky dice roll, so I go Rivers though.
Podfather, here we are, make it or break it time. Wolf, are you drinking a red beer, chasing it with a coffee?
That is exactly what I'm doing. I'm setting myself up for a disaster of a day. Yes, Podfather, absolutely.
MG Lax 12. Just wanted to let you know, last week I started Noah Fant and Devontae Parker, and he lost by 6.
Well, that sucks.
I hope we weren't the ones that told you to do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry if we were the ones to recommend that, MG. It pains. It's a painful feeling. I don't remember who the other options were if we recommended them to you. But damn, sorry to hear it, brother. Fantasy can be the best, and it can also be the biggest kick to the dick, as this would have been to Cam Akers on the bench. Tough.
Tunes, pick a defense, Arizona, San Francisco, Baltimore.
Baltimore's facing the Jags. I said I liked Minshew, and I do, but that doesn't mean he can't throw a pick six tomorrow.
Tunes, Baltimore, Rams.
Oh, Rams. The Jets, come on. The Rams.
Sports and Diggs, need 1 PPR, Pittman, Bourne, Chenault, Mooney.
Pittman.
Chenault with Minshew back?
It could be. It could be. I lean Pittman here. I like that matchup against the Houston defense. But yeah, Chanel, Minshew could help him out. We'll see.
Connor Leahy's Seahawks D against Washington.
Don't hate him. Defense is defense. I'm not going to go too much into defenses here. But yeah, they could after him. Absolutely. They give up a ton of sacks, and Haskins sucks. He'll get turned over. I like Seahawks D this week for sure.
Sarno, don't forget your testimonials.
RotoStreetJournal.com/support2020. The banner down below, if you haven't seen it, would be so appreciated. I saw yours, Craig. Greatly, greatly appreciate your kind words, brother.
Podfather, which flex should I start half PPR? Beasley versus Lockett?
I go Lockett. I go Lockett and go for the blow up. Beasley's safer, but I like Lockett. And much love to you, Ted. Todd, not Ted. The Todd father, the greatest. He switches his name every other week, and I love it. Where's the PNW? Am I an idiot just for not knowing what that is?
Honestly, I have no idea. I was thinking like Panama. I typed in PNW and it says Purdue University Northwest. I know that's not.
Yeah. Hey, well, let us know where you're from.
It's Pacific Northwest. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess. Is it like Washington? Is it?
Yeah, probably something like Oregon.
Like the Seattle, Washington area is what I was thinking. Pacific Northwest. Okay, I just didn't know if there's like a city known as the PNW that we were like both idiots about. Who knows?
Mike Keenan, you guys rock.
And you rock too. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Connor Leahy, Pittman or Coty, my flex. PPR.
I go Cutie. I like Cutie there. Tough loss with Julio, but I like Cutie. He's against the Colts. He's like has 3 blowups and 1 bad dud, but the dud was when he wasn't really that involved. So I like Cutie a lot.
Anthony Fella, get those testimonials in.
Cheers. Thanks for the reminder, everybody. RotoStreetJournal.com/support2020.
Cool whip. Need to start 2 CEH, Mostert, Hunt, DJ Moore, Wilson.
I'm going to go Hunt, and gets tough from there. And it's not like Hunt's even that much of a lock. This is a tough one. I'm leaning Hunt and CEH. But I like them all. Like I like them all though. There's none I love. None of them are carried away from me, but I like Hunt. And then I guess CEH. Where do you lean with this one, CJ?
I don't know. I'm still feeling DJ Moore. I think Hunt, DJ Moore. I think that CEH is going to get kind of schemed out of that game.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, Cool Whip. Let us know where you go.
Keenan going for 5. Roto Street titles out of 5 main leagues.
Yeah, okay. Hell yeah. Let's get it, Keenan. Mike, my man, I hope you get at least a few.
And G-Lax start 2 of these Hunt, Dobbins, Akers.
I gotta go.
He said he lost. Oh, yeah. Is he doing? Oh, he's probably in the third place.
I don't know, but 5th place game. But no, he might. It might be another league. I'm benching Hunt out of these ones. I like Akers and Dobbins a lot.
Praise Austin. You literally carried me to a championship. 12-2.
We loved holding you and carrying you there. But now let's get that title, baby. And check out RotoStreetJournal.com/support2020 if you want to write a testimonial about how we did it. It would mean the world. Either way, though, we're so happy to have you, and we got to get that title, bro. Let's do it.
Nick Chavez. I was going to say this earlier. Slay's been getting eaten the last few weeks. He has been getting bent the fuck over. I mean, it was also DK and Devontae, but he's been getting bullied.
Horrible. Yeah, and Hopkins would do the same. It's just another, even if he's out, it's just that much better. But yeah, I wasn't worried at all. It's just that much better.
First, Jones seems to kill it in night games. Was down over 60 last year with Jones and Rodgers. My last 2 to play and smash my opponent. Never sit in. I think I know exactly what week we're talking about here.
Yep.
The Mike Boone week.
That was week 15, the Boone week, the devastating week of all time. Yeah, I like Jones tonight. I really do. I'm not sitting him.
Andrew McGrady, James Robinson, Akers, Cooper, Hilton. Who do you bench out of these? Full PPR.
Probably Cooper. I'm going to bench Cooper, the worst quarterback here. I love the 2 running backs, and I love T.Y. And I like Cooper, but I like all the other guys more.
Viagra, should I start Hurts over Russ this week?
I'd probably stick to Russ. That's an ugly game, though. A good defense, and they're not going to put up many points. So But Russ last week against the Jets, who didn't put up any points, also put up 20 something. But Russ, I can see why people are nervous about Russ. I've gotten a lot of questions. I personally have the hard time pulling the trigger to sit him. And honestly, Hurts feels better to me. He really does. But I'm going to go Russ. And what else do we got? The Washington matchup. Yeah, he's just kind of giving his I'm going to try to run the ball. I'm a huge underdog, so he needs upside.
That's still Russ. Russ has the blow up upside.
Because Russ can just blow up too. Lockett could just go for 3 deep touchdowns. I'm going to go Russ, but yeah, that's a tough one, brother. That is a really tough one.
Chavez, CJ, you a Buckeye fan? Yep. And I just watched them have a 14-play drive and stall it on the 5-yard line.
Brutal. I know, CJ. I didn't expect. Honestly, I did not expect us to get this many fucking questions. It's awesome.
We actually still have
we have a ton. So if you need to go watch your Buckeyes, I can rip through this. I totally understand.
We can just rip through it.
All righty, but at any point, don't feel bad because I know this is your team, your game. Like if you're like, I got to go watch the game. At any point, I can.
I get it right from you.
I thought we were going to be done an hour ago, and now the Wolfpack showed up, and I fucking love it. So great stuff.
We'll do a little hurry up. Lucius Varensis. Pick one of these receivers, Hilton, Godwin, or Thielen. Can't flex any of them. Can't flex them at all. Normally would say Thielen, but tough matchup, and Thielen only has 3 touchdowns against the Bears since 2014. 2 in his last game.
I was going to say 2 of those touchdowns were last time he played him, so I'm not overly worried, and I go Thielen. But if you want to pivot away from him, Hilton would be my pivot, but I like Thielen more, Lucius.
Podfather. Also, I need a tight end, Logan Thomas or Jared Cook.
Jared Cook, baby. Love Cook this week. He's one of my favorite plays.
Thomas doesn't do much with Haskins. Terrell, 2 nights, Brees or Trubisky?
I prefer Brees. I go with it. It's risky, but I prefer Brees.
Okay, Norton, Tim Patrick or Jeff Wilson in the flex?
What's up, Norton? I lean Wilson. Higher touchdown bet, in my opinion. Patrick's been pretty steady. I'm feeling Wilson to get at least score 1, and if he just becomes the lead back, like the upside's real there. So I'm leaning Wilson there.
Chad Likens in a pinch at the RB2 spot, Wilson or Fournette?
I'm going to go Fournette. Rojo's, I guess, not 100% officially ruled out yet, but he's not going to play. So assuming Rojo's out, I'm going to lean Fournette. I think he has very real 1 to 2 TD upside tomorrow.
Connor Leahy's David Johnson was starting. I have Taylor and Wilson. Not many options after Taylor.
I got to go Taylor, obviously. And then I play Wilson over David Johnson. I'm not a fan of him. I mean, Duke might be ruled out, which would lock him into every single snap duties. But even still, they just don't really use the running backs that much, except for like horrible runs up the middle. So I go Wilson and Taylor there.
So Jennings, Irv Smith is available.
I forget who the other options were, but again, we love Irv Smith as a streamer this week.
Terrell, 2 nice, Tunyon or Andrews, full PPR.
Oh, Andrews. And it's 3 or 4, but Andrews is like a tier above, in my opinion. I think he's got 2 touchdowns this week.
Campanelli, it's Saturday tangent party?
Not sure what that means, but have a fun tangent party. Oh, I think I said I'm going off on a lot of tangents today because it's like a Saturday where we're not as strapped for like, we got to get all the questions in by 1.
That's true. Austin First, they're more likely our man Stafford will end up playing tomorrow. Gotta love having our home team hero firing it up.
Hey, if he plays, it's a much more appealing game for everybody involved. So I hope he does. And you guys out there in Detroit, I hope he plays for you. It would be a much more fun game. That game could shoot out if he does.
Baker, Harrington, Boyd, or Bowden?
It really depends on who's going to be in and out for the Dolphins. It seems like they're all going to play, so I'm going to go Boyd. I don't love it, but I'm going to go with the talent. I hate that Finley's playing, but unless a bunch of those guys in Parker, Gesicki, and Grant end up getting ruled out, I'm going to lean Boyd. If they all get ruled out, then I'm going to go Bowden.
Terrell, 2 nice, wine and flavored beer. That's the River Street Journal slogan for Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Your biggest hardcore manly podcast. Wine, flavored beer, and seltzer.
Old guys, Gabe Davis or T. Higgins?
Kind of like Gabe. Now that Brown's been ruled out, he's going to find the end zone as he always does.
Carlos Orozco, J.K. or Chris Carson?
See, I have Carson higher, but the more and more I think about it, I want to put Dobbins above him. I love Dobbins this week. I really think Dobbins could go crazy. And Carson, though, is so safe. Like, he's going to score a touchdown tomorrow. No doubt about it. Maybe he gets you 2. I'd probably go Carson most of the time. I do wonder if Penny's going to become any type of little nuisance here. He'd probably be more of a nuisance for Hyde than anything. So I'm going to go Carson. But, man, do I love Dobbins tomorrow. What about you with this one?
I'm going to go Carson one more week, and then – actually, I can't really say that. It's kind of a bad enough. I think Dobbins then. I do agree with, like, that Penny situation that you said.
Could just get annoying as fuck.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Dobbins. Better matchup. Tony J, Akers, Chubb, Davis, standard scoring pick 2.
Damn, tough question. This is one where I'd bench Davis.
Standard, I'd go with the first 2.
He's got great touchdown upside, sure. But, yeah, Nick Chubb, obviously, number 2 running back of the week. He's a beast. And then Akers after last week, I can't bench. Not for Davis, at least. So I'm going to go Chubb and Akers.
Tim Gray, I have Derrick Henry already in, so I couldn't put Akers in my flex. Would you stick with Rivers or Mayfield?
I don't know how these are related.
I think he had like the first question of the day. I forget. But they were like, why can't you bench one of these? Or why can't you flex one of these?
I remember seeing Tim Gray earlier, so I forget what he was talking about earlier. But yeah, I go Rivers, I think. But Mayfield is he's been rolling lately. And he gets you know what? I could see them just riding this out with Baker. Like, let's just keep slinging.
Yeah, the offense looks really good.
They've been insane. And this is a Giants team without their top 2 corners. I just wonder what happens if they go up by 3-4 touchdowns early, which I really think they can. And if a couple of those came on the ground and Baker only has 1-2 touchdowns and then they just bleed clock, because that's what Cleveland's done all year, you're really banking on them like slinging it even with a lead all game for Mayfield to have huge upside. And there's a lot more chances that Rivers is going to have to stay throwing all game than Mayfield. So I lean Rivers very, very slightly, Tim Gray. I think. I don't know.
I think I'm going Baker.
You're going Baker? I might have Baker higher, honestly. If I check my rankings, like, I wouldn't be shocked if Baker's higher. Just thinking through the scripts right now, I think Rivers, they've got to be at least 12 and like 14, like right neck and neck. That's a tough one, man. Really tough. But I lean Rivers. CJ leans Baker. Let us know what you got.
Johnson, let's go Buckeyes. They look like trash right now. So,
a fellow Buckeyes fan.
The chosen rows. Cole Kmet or Irv Smith. And then should you select Jeff Wilson or Kiki?
I lean Irv Smith just slightly over Kmet. I love Kmet as a streamer, but I do lean Irv. And then I think I'm leaning Kiki for the flex there. He's got a good history against them.
Mitch Chavez is talking about his bourbon from earlier. McConaughey promotes it.
The shots of bourbon at 11 a.m. What a savage, and I love it, Mitch.
Tunes had Eckler Thursday, one against Waller and Jacobs. Also, Sat Herbert.
Tough Thursday for you, Tunes. But you sent me a picture of that team. You have some fucking beasts on that team. So it's not even close to over. Was it the start you wanted? No, not even close. But there is no room for panic here. And I think you're still in a great spot, Tunes. I can't wait to see how that one unfolds because I really like your team, Tunes. Oh, there we go.
Good, Denny. Last day of PT was yesterday, and today is last day of painkillers. Looking forward to some Trogs Mad Elf beer tomorrow. Next follow-up is in 6 months. Thanks for all the well wishes.
The Trogs Mad Elf for Denny Jennings. I love the Mad Elf. It's like a 13%er. They often have it on draft at Fibbers, CJ. It's a crazy-ass beer.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
It's a crazy-ass beer, the Trogs Mad Elf. I love it.
Trogs with the side of painkillers, not a bad thing.
There you go. You have yourself a night with that.
CJ Johnson, I wear a Herbert jersey the second he got that sneak.
Love it. Frame that one, put it on the wall. I've done a couple snap. My ultimate snap jersey wasn't even football-wise. I kind of just said it out loud. It was a Celtics playoff game, and Jerebko had like 10 first quarter points. And I was like, if he scores over 25, I'm going to order a jersey. And I think Jerebko put up like 37 or something crazy. And I ordered a Jerebko jersey.
Great.
I have like a random ass Jerebko jersey in my closet somewhere.
Great.
That was the most snap random jersey order I've ever had. But yeah, I love a good snap jersey purchase, DJ. Well done.
First, there any chance you might see a little bit more Zach Moss this season? And should he go with Bass or Sly?
I like Bass. He's boots.
I just picked him up. I'm kind of into him.
I like Bass a lot. He's got, I think, over 10 in like 4 straight weeks. Maybe last week was under. Sure, he missed an extra point, but this dude can boot, and they're going to move it fine against Denver. And Denver might have that good enough D to like stop him a few times. I like Bass a lot today. And you know me, Austin. I know you. Joey Sly, Fat Boy is our boy, but like I like Bass a little more this week. And I just don't think Zach Moss is that. I mean, pick him up if you have trash to cut and see what happens this week, but I'm not into it. It's just that backfield intrigues me literally zero. So nah.
Craig Sarno going to get to keep Herbert for a 12th rounder next year.
Oof, that is value right there, especially if our prediction right now is true about Herbert chucking 50 touchdowns.
Andres, great show, guys. Would I flex this week? DJ Moore or Marvin Jones, or should you go for the Monday Night Miracle with Boyd?
I'm probably gonna go DJ Moore here. I'm not doing Boyd. I'm probably going DJ Moore, and especially if one, we know Stafford's out ahead of time, and two, if Curtis Samuel sits. I probably have to go DJ Moore just based on like we don't know what's going to happen with Stafford. I would not want Marvin Jones in my lineup with Chase Daniel at quarterback. So I'm going to go DJ Moore here.
Damian Harris is inactive for Sunday. You feeling Sony Michel?
Wait, why? When? How?
I think he's been banged up all year. I think they're just
wow. Breaking news. Damian Harris out this Sunday. So yeah, Sony Michel for you desperation RB guys. I wouldn't have him above like Jeff Wilson or anything like that. But he'd probably slide into my top 30 running back. So if you're desperate at running back, Sony has a bet to find the end zone now. I wouldn't love it, but we've seen some running back questions that were like,
I mean, there was that one earlier with like the James White and like that pile of garbage.
Yeah, exactly. The Pittman, James White, like Sony could probably fit his way into that one.
Tunes Ayuk or Mike Davis in the flex.
Oh man, that's tough. I go Ayuk. I'm all in on him. I'm all in. Mike Davis is safer, but that game could get out of hand and Davis could get scripted out. Like he's had a few duds this year for sure. I go Ayuk here. I feel like I can't see how he fails this week. So I'm gonna go Ayuk. Who are your running backs that he's in above? You know, Mike Davis, but give me Ayuk there.
Sarno got Allen in the 6 and Herbert on waivers.
The QB whisperer. Well done.
Heisenberger, Akers, Carson, or Cup. PPR, pick 2 of these.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Akers.
The championship this week.
Get that chip, baby. Get that ship. I'm gonna go Akers here. I like Akers more than any of those other two.
Pick 2 of them.
Oh, 2. Well, Cup gets the Jets.
Cup full PPR. I like that.
Full PPR. I think I'm going to go the running backs, though. I like Carson. I think Carson's nice and safe. I'm going to go Carson Akers.
He already has Waller and his opponent play Keenan.
Nice safe spot, too. Yeah. All those options are nice and safe. So that's the nice part, Heisenberger. I think Akers and Carson are probably the highest of the floors. So I'm going to go those two.
Juan Pena, since since Julio is out, who would you put in for him? I need 2 spots. Landry, Claypool, Gage, Tim Patrick, Juju.
I like the new picture, Juan. The stunner shades over here, looking fresh. Out of these guys, I'm going to go Landry. I'm going to go Juju. That's where I'm leaning for these two. I like all those intriguing little like wide receivers, but I like Landry and Juju the most.
Sean Hayes, Hills. Pick 2, half PPR, Robert Woods, Deontay, or Justin Jefferson.
I'm going to go Woods and Justin Jefferson. Deontay makes me a little nervous, the benching. I did not like that at all.
So many drops.
And the drops, yeah, like all of that definitely scares me with him. It keeps like zooming. I keep doing this thing with the mouse. It zooms out, but I'm back.
Juan, do you think Jonathan Taylor will be the RB1 this Sunday?
Of course. He's a monster. He's my number 3 running back for the week, or 4 now that Kamara got a little bump up. I love him. I absolutely love Jonathan Taylor. He's going to eat Houston up alive.
Sorry, no, it might be a stupid question, but with how do you feel about Atlanta's offense this week? Would you consider Robbie, Pittman, or CEH over Woodley?
No. Sorry, no, that is a stupid question. I will shame you for that one. I don't like to shame people for their questions, but you're smarter than that. You're playing Ridley.
Chavez, 49ers win, and Kittle likely plays next week to pursue the playoffs. Otherwise, he's done for the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Is Jamal Williams a threat?
I mean, you own Orange Joe's, like they split time often, and it's annoying. Could he find the end zone? Sure. Carolina's horrible. I probably not playing Jamal Williams unless I'm really desperate. There was some running back questions earlier I'd want Jamal Williams in on, but yeah, I mean, he's always a threat. He's always could be annoying like that. Wolfpack again. we're going to rip through the rest of these, but last plug here for the thumbs up helps us get out to more people, answer more questions, makes us look as even more legit, and it's so appreciated as well. YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, any shares, so greatly appreciated. And again, rotostreetjournal.com/support2020. You can see it down there on the banner. If you forget what I just said, would mean the world if you're willing to give us a testimonial. All righty, let's rip through this stuff.
We still have like 50 questions left.
Yes.
Andres Perez, flex one of these. DJ Moore, Marvin Jones, or Boyd, standard.
DJ Moore, like it.
Jair, Gordon, or Mostert?
Gonna go Melvin Gordon. I feel okay about him. He's kind of been the horse lately.
Pena, do you think Allen is going to slaughter Denver today?
Probably. He slaughters most teams. I think Denver's nothing that I'm too scared of.
Sarno, we made the right call on Herbert. Can't predict a 10-point overtime.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not the right call.
Doesn't make my team feel any better, but
the process was right. The prediction wasn't because he got 28 points. Like, fuck, sucks. But yeah, the process I think was there. The call was not right because it ended up being 28 points.
Pity Alpha, Fant or Ingram? It's not your fault. I started him. Thanks for your advice.
I think he's probably talking about Keenan Allen. We recommend a lot of people play Keenan. It sucks to look into the camera and say, start me, and then play 10 snaps. It's not like he had any control over that. I think we should have definitely taken that a lot more seriously. I prefer Ingram, but hey, we don't know Ingram's even going to play with this midweek calf injury, pity. So you might have to just go Fant tonight. If you have a backup plan for tomorrow, like Irv Smith, I'd rather have Irv Smith. So if you can get Irv Smith, I do that. And that way you can wait it out and see. Because Ingram, if he plays, great spot against Cleveland. But with the quarterback questions there, with his health in question, if Fant's your only option, I'd probably go him tonight. But check out for Irv Smith. That's our kind of streamer this week.
Scotty Brooks. Heyo.
What up, Scotty? Great to see you.
Scott Brooks need San Francisco. Need SFL?
Super flex.
Need San Francisco up. In full PPR, Locke or DJ Moore?
I typically always go quarterback. I know DJ Moore could have some upside tonight, but like Locke just had 28 points. A quarterback is, like a 13-point floor, even if he sucks. And so a super flex, that's where I typically lean.
He also has Pittman and Logan Thomas, TE Premium.
Sorry, we just both fell off at the same time. Were you just asking this one, Pittman and Logan Thomas?
Yeah, TE Premium.
If that's for the same league, I'm still going DJ Moore. I mean, Lock over DJ Moore in them.
Mahomes, Taylor, Chubb, DK, Diggs, Deontay, Kelsey, Dolphins, D, Bass, Kicker. Full PPR, that's where I am. That's where I wonder if Dobbins, Moss, Andrews.
No Moss.
I do have Curtis Samuel as well. Pick one for the flex. So
if it's Deontay versus Dobbins for the flex, or I think it's Dobbins, Andrews, Deontay for the flex, because obviously Kelsey. Yeah. Now I know why Andrews isn't in, and that's where I'm going Dobbins over both those guys. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dobbins in there for.
That would have made that question a lot simpler.
Yeah, definitely. But I think I did ask like, how can you not have Andrews in? Yeah.
Sports and Bigs, they're all gone.
They're all gone. Oh no, sorry.
Clayton, Robbie Anderson, Beasley, Mostert, or Fournette at the flex PPR. Needs a floor.
Safe floor is Beasley. Safest floor here is Beasley. Fournette would be my next one up.
Dan Glander, Devontae Parker, T. Higgins, or MVS. F1 PPR.
Ugh, all gross. I think MVS, just go for the Hail Mary tonight, right? Like he's had a couple big touchdowns in a few weeks in a row. So I go for that. But no like Rashad Higgins, no, any of these other guys that you could potentially get on the waiver wires. Emmanuel Sanders dropped, like anything of that nature. But of these guys, I might go for the Hail Mary of MVS. I don't like Parker against the Pats, and he might not even play Glander, so it's tough.
Juan Pena of Saturday Football Boys. Cheers. Sip of sunshine all day.
Great beer. Love that choice. Sip of sunshine is delicious. Having that all day, though, you're going to be pretty drunk pretty fast. Those are like a nice 8%. Well done, Juan.
Ryan Finley starting for Cincy.
Disgusting.
Jose Vega, Mike Davis, or James Robinson.
That's tough. I like James, though. I can't bench James. And I love Mike, obviously, too. But yeah, give me James here. Give me James.
Sion, good morning, fellas. Need 2 running backs and 1 flex. McKissick, Gallman, Jeff Wilson, Gurley, T.Y. Hill.
I like Gallman and T.Y. Hilton. I love T.Y. Hilton. Hilton's my favorite of these guys, and I like Gallman above the running backs. And I appreciate those kind words, Sion.
Yeah,
Team of
Sion,
11.
8 out of 11. That's too many leagues, in my opinion.
Too many leagues. I don't know how the fuck you do that, but impressive that you made 8 of 11 nonetheless. So great. We greatly appreciate that. And anybody else, GroceryJournal.com/support 2020. We greatly appreciate those kind words. And thank you, Sion. Congrats on 8 of 11. 8 of 11 playoffs. Now, is that 8 of 11 semis too? Because that would be fucking crazy of a year. So if so, best of luck.
TS at 1 PPR, Deontay, Godwin, Akers.
Not Akers. I'm definitely playing Akers.
Godwin, I think.
Yeah, I think Godwin might be the riskiest here. Godwin and Deontay are very close in my rankings. I think Godwin, as we saw last week, 3.5. Like, oh, God, that's brutal.
Gio, is C-Mac going to fucking play? He's actually, I think he's playing tens this week, I want to say.
He's not going to play.
He's trucked without C-Mac all year, and he's just every week it's a cry fest.
What a douche. I mean, imagine how good your lineup would have been with another 30 points every week. Like, fuck. Sucks, but no, he's not going to play.
Hoodie Alpha, Jalen Hurts or Russell Wilson, and then pick 3 of these: Swift, Dobbins, Miles, Sanders, or Zeke. So sit one.
So we've seen Hurts versus Wilson a couple times. I'm going Wilson for all of them. I know it's riskier, not even riskier, but just like that game script is pretty gross, but I just got to stick with the guy that's got me there. And then of the running backs, Zeke's my easy bench. I want nothing to do with Zeke this week, regardless of who's quarterback in that case for Swift. I'm still going to go Swift over Zeke. The other two are locks.
DJ Johnson, Watson, Goff, or Hurts?
I like Hurts the most. I mean, Watson with Cooked back is probably the safest, and Goff gets the Jets, but I'm just feeling Hurts. I'm very maybe stupid high on Hurts this week, but I love that rushing upside. Am I crazy, CJ? Which one do you like the most of these? Hurts is the rich one, but I'm a big Hurts guy.
Yeah, I know you're upside. If I'm being safe, honestly, I always think Watson's so safe. He always has his rushing abilities. Always throws the shit out of the ball. I think I'd go Watson.
Yeah, it's not a horrible call. I go Hurts though. I'm just going for the upside.
Juan Pena, do you guys think Kamara will get more touches now with Brees though?
Yeah, we covered that earlier. I mean, it's double the fantasy points, 14 to 28, and then you got no MT. So 2 things working in his favor. Absolutely, Kamara's gonna go crazy tomorrow.
Dan Glander, Hurts versus Watson. Watson.
So CJ's Watson. I'm Hurts. That's 2 back-to-back questions. It's tough, but I'm all in on Hurts this week.
Jose Vegas, sit one of these. Robbie, IU, Cooper Cup.
I'm going to sit Robbie pretty easily. I love Ayuk, and then Cup is just nice, steady Jets. Yeah.
Jake Knight, Breeze or Bridgewater for Superflex?
I lean Breeze. I'm going to go for the upside of Breeze. Bridgewater, it didn't pan out like we thought. And he's been okay, but just it's so limited in my opinion.
Dave L, start Montgomery or Swift?
Montgomery. We've taken our turn. Addition to Rodgers, I've taken a nice turn on Montgomery this year. We didn't think he was talented enough to take advantage of easy matchups, and he has been. And the Vikings are the hardest matchup we've seen in a while, but he looks better. Like, he just looks faster. He's catching the ball better. He's come a little way. He developed. He's become a better professional player, and I like Montgomery now. I do. He's a solid player.
Gio, Jeff Wilson or Coates?
I lean QT slightly, but I don't hate Wilson at all. That's a tough one. They're neck and neck for me.
Jose Vega, sit one, Breeze, Matt Ryan, or Cousins?
Getting rid of Matt Ryan. No Julio. Done with him.
Tunes, I like hearing you guys talk up Landry.
The biggest Landry fan there's ever been.
Smash that like button.
Smash it for us, Wolfpack. Let's get to 30. Come on.
Thanks, Wolf, for talking me into playing Keenan Allen on Thursday. Would have been a bad situation. Oh, talking you out of that.
Yeah. There was very few that I talked out of, so I'm glad at least.
Like an Ayuk or something like that.
Yeah, it was an Ayuk. There's a lot of Ayuk or Allens, and I went Ayuk in those cases. But there's very few that I sat Allen for, and I feel bad. I feel horrible. How could you? It was just tough call, and I apologize in advance if you played him on our behest. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out for at least some of you guys.
First, or Brady or Breeze?
I'm leaning Brady.
Brady.
I like that Atlanta matchup.
DFS, Hurts or Breeze?
I'm making that same decision, Austin. It's a tough one. I like Hurts slightly more than my 9 and 10. But if I'm going, like, I have a couple stacks where it's like Sanders, Cook, Alvin. well, you got to just go Brees and just hope everybody lights it up there. So it depends on how you're constructing your lineup, but I like going. I have two lineups this week, and it's either Brees or it's Hurts. Those are the two guys I'm going around. I'm going to go Brees. I have Hurts higher as like my regular season rankings.
Frank Bullitt need one of these for flex. Jefferson, Cooper, Robbie. Jefferson, pretty easy.
I get the hesitation with Jefferson with the Chicago matchup. He had 10 catches and 135 yards, or like 8 catches, I think, for 135 on 10 targets last time against them. He's a stud. It's a low volume passing attack when it can be, and it could be this week. It is risky, but Jefferson's been a beast. I'm going to stick with him.
Jake Knight, how high are you on DJ Moore, playing him over Deontay or Corey Davis?
You're higher on him than me. I'm not over either of these guys. Are you? Maybe Davis.
Yeah, over Davis, I think. Yeah, I'd go Deontay and Moore.
Yeah, I think I stick to Davis, but it's close. If Samuel's ruled out, then let's throw him on in there.
Tunes, I know I've asked the other day, but Hawkinson with the backup QB or Irv Smith?
Yeah, it sounded like, as we just right under here, that they're going to play Stafford, potentially a notification for pity. So I think we can wait that one out till tomorrow, Tunes, right? If we know Stafford's in, it's Hawkinson, it's no doubt. It's probably Hawkinson either way, but I don't know. I love Irv, so I can see it. But it sounds like it's trending the right way for Stafford, which is good news.
Yeah, another Stafford.
Oh yeah, I guess it must have just came out. Setting up to play. I love this. The Wolfpack coming in with the news here for us. So if Stafford's playing, everybody gets elevated there for the Lions, for your Titans. I love that.
Kevin Deegan had Eckler and Taylor and running back for that Ayuk question, and Miles and Ayuk now with the flex. Let's rip Ayuk.
Ah, man. Miles Sanders or Ayuk, you're saying? I love Miles. I didn't realize Ayuk and Miles was the decision here. I had Miles a spot higher than Eckler, too. I wish you'd caught that on the Thursday broadcast. As soon as the report came out that Eckler might be on a workload, I bid enough to bump him below Miles. Oh, I wish you had Miles and Taylor and Deegs. That would make this just so much easier. Yeah, let's just rip Ayuk. Let him fly. Go for it. I think I would go Miles Sanders personally. I'll put it that way, but it's neck and neck. So if you're feeling Ayuk, go for it. But I personally love Miles this week.
Connor Leahy, Irv Smith, or Logan Thomas? Irv.
Go in Irv. Like Irv. Yep.
First, there chips with nacho cheese, salsa, or guacamole. I'm a salsa guy, but guacamole over cheese and a 3-point spread. Beer is kicking in.
I love the beer.
I'm not a huge guacamole guy. I think it's kind of overrated. But nacho cheese is also kind of like, it depends. It depends what it is. If it's well done nacho cheese, if it's just like a shitty, like something in like a can or something.
I'm a queso guy. I love
queso. Yeah, queso dip is in with the nacho cheese though.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like nacho cheese when you go to like a baseball game and it's just like sitting on the side. It's like that gross.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm always cheese. I'm going to always answer cheese in any question. I love nacho cheese, and I especially love queso. And if you want the best queso in the North Shore, the Howling Wolf, it's fucking crazy queso. You can get it with like ground beef mixed in. So any North Shore viewers, if you've never tried the queso con carne, just go to Howling Wolf, tell them Wolf sent you. They'll have no idea what you meant, but it'll be great anyways. Queso con carne.
Terry Roberts, Woods, or A-Rob for FanDuel?
A-Rob. A-Rob's a monster. It's got to be him.
Campanelli might as well just get a Four Loko.
I've had some bad Four Loko back in college. That was when you were young in CJ. We had like caffeine Four Lokos, which was just like
that was like the heyday of Four Loko.
That's years off. I definitely have some severe brain damage from the caffeine Four Loko. Those were some bad times.
Literally illegal now. Monner and pick up flex, full PPR, Godwin, Gallman, Drake, Hilton.
I'm gonna go Drake, especially with news that Edmonds might not play. Even if he plays or not, I like Drake the most. I like Drake and then I like Hilton, but I'm gonna go Drake over those guys.
Broderick, I know this is sick, but I'm desperate in the semi. Start 2 in standard. AB, Chark, Lazard, Bowden, Smith, or Gabriel Davis.
It is gross. I'm leaning AB and Gabriel. Could Chark go crazy now that Minshew's back? He could, especially with the dinged up secondary there. So there's some upside. But I like Gabriel Davis to score tonight, and I like AB. This is tough though. This is fucking hard. I mean, if you want to work in Chark over Davis, you could. He has the biggest ceiling of these guys, but I like AB against Atlanta. nice floor, and he could definitely find the end zone. And then I lean Davis over Chark because I'm just not high on Chark right now. But if you went Chark, I wouldn't blame you. What do you think, CJ?
Start two of these. Would you? I really like. I don't know. So I really like Davis for some reason.
I do too.
Would you do Sony over any of these guys?
No, I don't want to touch that backfield. I hate the Pats.
That's true. I hate them. Yeah, I'm going Davis maybe.
Davis, AB. So we're pretty aligned there. If you're feeling Chark Broderick, go for it, but we're not.
I can see that with Gardner.
Jamal Adams
record for DB with 8.5 so far.
Yeah.
Pat Bailey, Wolfie, QD or Beasley asking for a friend, and I'm sending this from the gondola at Winter Park. So don't give me this. You never join the show anymore. Pat from the Rockies. Thank you very much.
Look at that huge commitment from the Rockies, actually in the Rockies, in the middle of skiing. I go Beasley. I don't want to give you a straight answer because I know he's asking for himself. He's matched up against Tans. Like everybody in the Fez wants to see Tans beat Bailey here. But hey, I'll give, if you're going to be that committed to tune in while you're skiing, I'll go Beasley. I really would. And that's not like a fake answer. I would actually go Beasley over QD here. So that's what I would do. Pacific Northwest. So this is where we're at this point.
Something Northwest campus of Purdue. David Campanelli, I need some RHA swag when I do my video testimonial.
I could try to get a little. We should have set it up before Christmas time so people could have bought RSJ swag for their loved ones.
That's true.
We'll get a store set up soon enough. We shall.
Marcos Valdez Scantling, AJ Brown or Thielen?
I got to go AJ Brown here. I'm going to go AJ Brown. Mike Davis or Drake? I got to go Drake here. I mean, I'm going to go Davis. The Green Bay matchup's really good. CJ, do you want to get off for your Ohio State Buckeyes? I could tell you're.
I'm actually have to leave in like 10 minutes. So.
Yeah. So here's the deal. CJ, you've been a trooper. I did not go over. I thought you were going to be done by kickoff. You've been here for an extra hour.
I didn't know we were going to have like 200 questions on Saturday.
Yeah, this is awesome. Wolfpack, I'm pumped you're all here. Right. I'll rip through the rest. But we always get to that point of rapid fire anyways. So I'll rapid fire. CJ, head on out. Go Buckeyes for you. Have a good Saturday. Enjoy your little outdoor dining at Rosetti's.
Yep. I'll see you guys.
See you later, brother. Good luck. All righty. So Davis or Drake, I'm going to go Davis there. Mitchell, would you? So he's asking in the fans here. We already talked about that one for you. Beasley versus Deontay. I'm going to go Deontay, but it's not. The safety is with Beasley, but I go Deontay. What running backs would you start over Ayuk? Probably like up to like, the Miles Sanders tier. Akers. Akers at 10 is where I'd probably draw that line. I'd have Akers maybe in over Ayuk, but it's damn close, James Wyndham. You can find my rankings at rotostreetjournal.com to see my running backs. That Akers like cutoff tier is where I would. Need one for the flex. I don't know who you have. Oh, here we go. Evans, Dobbins, Mostert. I'm going Dobbins. I love him against the Jags this week. One flex, QD, Hansen, Davis. Not Hansen because we have Cooks back. I lean QD, but I do love Davis tonight. So if you really want to go that and have some action, you have Adams and Diggs, though. You already got a bunch of action tonight. Let's go QD tomorrow. If I win the title this year, trees for days for the Wolf. The Wolf will always love trees for days. Good stuff, tunes. Jared Cook or Hawkinson. I'm going to go Hawkinson. If we find word, it sounds like Stafford is going to play. If not, then I might change this, but I'm going to go Hawkinson. Go Buckeyes. So you got some fandom shared for CJ and Mitch. Full PPR. And again, guys, that thumbs up button as we wind down here. Can we hit over 25? Would be awesome. Would be so appreciated. And rotostreetjournal.com/support2020 if you are willing to share some kind words on us, whether it's this week, next week, after the season, it would be so appreciated. My RB purgatory questions, they're all gone. Is Moss. Yeah, that sucks. Left for me to pick. With no Harris, White might be more involved. So with that news and it's full PPR, remember Sports and Digs, I'm probably going to go White. Logan Thomas, Jared Cook, or Irv Smith. Jared Cook for me, Connor Leahy. I love the Breeze back. I love Thomas being out. And I love Kansas City's way worse against tight ends than they are receivers. JT obviously locked in, Rodney, like it. And then you got Mostert, David Johnson. Harris isn't playing, or Zeke. I don't like any of these guys. I'm not going to lie. I don't want you need two. Oh, boy. There's no Jeff Wilson. I go Mostert and get some juice in that game, and then I go Zeke. I don't want anything to do with David Johnson. I don't. Ugh, sorry. Northwestern just scored a TD. Oh, CJ's probably shitting himself. Flex, PPR, Jefferson, Swift, David Johnson, Anderson. We're going to go Jefferson there, Sarah Riley. Goddard or Fant? Let's go Goddard, is my opinion. Been drinking some Cabo Wabo margaritas. Nice. Got the office to myself, so why not? There you go. Office margaritas are the best margaritas. Love to hear it. Damian Harris ruled out. So Whites, yeah, we just talked about a little bit better, sure. Woods, McLaurin, or Amari. I'm going to go Woods. I feel good about him against the Jets. Kamara, Jonathan Taylor locked in over Davis. Yep. And then I do go Ayuk. Yep. I go Ayuk there. Davis, DJ Chark, or M. Brown. I go M. Brown. I love Marquise, especially, well, we got to make sure he's playing, but if he's in, I'm all in. Wolf, this is your week to rise to the top of the fantasy pros. I hope so, brother. Really hope so. It's been a great year, fun battle. Being in consideration with some of those top guys is just a thrill. But yeah, I need to get back in that top 10. My Herbert prediction's not really helping out right now, but we'll see. Pick 2, Hunt, McLaurin, Corey Davis. I'm going to bench Davis there, Alex Cruz. Komet or Fant? Going to go Fant tonight. Jonathan Taylor for Jason Zach or Swift. It's got to be Taylor, no doubt about it. My running back 3 or 4 now that Kamara's above him. Gambler, Standard, Jackson or Rodgers. Got to go. I mean, this is, you never think you're going to bench Rodgers. I'm going to go Lamar. I think he's my number 1 quarterback. The weather plus the weapons coming back for Lamar, he's going to go 35. Colt McCoy gearing up. And nobody wants to hear that news. Sucks for all your Giants players and Giants fans. Colt McCoy blows. Start 3, Mike Davis, David Montgomery, James Robinson, Akers. Damn, tough. I'm going to bench Davis. As good of a matchup as he is, as solid as he's been as a player. I like all the other 3 options more, Kenny Lee. Great options. Good for you. Need a home run. I started Keenan Allen, got Wallard on top of that. Not good. So you do need some home runs, Robert. Deshaun, Jalen Hurts. I think as much as I like Hurts' ceilings, Watson's the one that could go 35 and go berserk. So I'm going to go Watson there. Flex, Wilson, McLaurin, Edwards, Higgins, Gabriel. I think the home run's McLaurin. You just hope for like a 150 and a touchdown or 2. You know, Wilson's a decent bet for a score and 50-ish yards, but ceiling's not there. Same to Edwards. Higgins has been eaten, but I go McLaurin there for the home run. Thank God CJ is gone. Screw the Buckeyes. Yeah, fuck them Buckeyes. I have no interest in them. You have a very Merry Christmas too, Frank Bullitt. So appreciated. Thank you. Ingram is in, so he's locked in. Okay. Good to know, but he's also going to probably be dealing with Colt McCoy, so that's not great for Erster. Flex, Wilson, Higgins, Chark, Bowden, or Lazard. Ooh, Higgins. I don't know which Higgins it is. If it's Rashard, even better. If it's T, okay. But it's Rashard, and then if it's T Higgins, I'd rather have Wilson, actually. So Rashad Higgins, if it's him. Wilson, if it's T. Pick 2, Akers, Sanders, Dobbins. I'm going to bench Dobbins, even though I love him here, James Winden. PPR, CEH or Gallman, PPR. I'm going to go Gallman there, and Irv Smith or Cook. I go Cook very slightly. Love the touchdown upside of him. And last question, Ben Trippy. Half PPR, need 2 of Mostert, Wilson, Antonio Brown, or Gallman. I'm going to go Gallman and Wilson, unless you need the upside, which would be with AB. Or Mostert would have higher upside. But I like Wilson and Gallman. It's a tough one, Ben. They're all so lumped together right there. Fuck. Pick 3. Okay, we got one last one in here. Davis, Montgomery, Jake, Robinson, Taylor. You're locking in Taylor. I'm playing Montgomery this week. And then I think I'm going Robinson. Great options, though. How do you have that 5 stacked running backs? Like all of them. I think you can't really go wrong here. Just don't bench Taylor. But I personally lean Taylor, Robinson, Montgomery. Alrighty, guys. Wolfpack, thank you so much. Did not expect that type of Saturday showing. It was awesome to have that many of you show up. Longer show than I expected, but that's, great with me. Why not answer your questions all Saturday morning? So cheers up. I hope you get any Saturday points you need. I hope you're willing to join again tomorrow. We'll cover some of the same news, but any updates we have for Sunday we'll also cover as well. And then we'll hit all your questions and wind down this fantasy season, baby. Semifinals. Get those wins. You can find all our content, my updated rankings at rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed Fantasy Wolves, or on our iOS app. Download that app. Get us on our cleanest form. It's so easy to just open up our rankings. Our stock watch looks so great on there. And then, of course, if you're willing to submit a testimonial, that can be found at rotostreetjournal.com/support2020. Your likes, subscriptions, wherever you're at, are so greatly appreciated, Wolfpack. It's been a blast of a 2020. As crazy as this year has been, it's been awesome having you guys show up and join us every week. So thank you guys for making this 2020 that could have been so dark with it went from no football to a great year, and we're so happy to have you. So best of luck. Get that lineup set, and We'll chat tomorrow, hopefully. Best of luck, Wolfpack. See you.